Hello and welcome to East West Stadium, where we are on hand for the final week of the regular season of high school football in West Virginia. And we have a classic for you tonight, as it's the annual East-West game. Fairmont Senior serving as the host tonight, East Fairmont the visitor. And when you talk about rivalries in the state of West Virginia, East-West is right up at the top. The oldest running rivalry in the state of West Virginia, 104th all-time meeting between these two schools. And there's a lot of bad blood, a lot of history, a lot of memorable games and memorable moments, and certainly emotions will be flying high tonight as the Bees and Polar Bears get set for this one. Fairmont Senior entering this one at 8-1 on the season, ranked number 3 in Class AAA. East Fairmont, meanwhile, sitting at 5-3 and currently ranked number 9 in Class AAA in the latest SSAC rankings. I'm Brad Heltzel, bringing you the call tonight with our broadcast crew here at EFSN. Tonight's broadcast is also available on your radio dial on 98.3, The Buzz, and I am joined in the booth tonight by colorman Brent Cochran. Brent, welcome back.
Good evening, buddy. How you been?
Great. Great to have you back in the booth with me tonight as we get set for the East-West game. And obviously, the East-West game comes with so much other stuff beyond simply the performance on the field from these two teams. There's so much history. You talk to anyone around Fairmont, and the East-West game is paramount throughout all of Fairmont. So, Brent, quickly, what do you expect to see with this rivalry game tonight?
I think it's going to be a classic, one of those classic, kind of like the backyard brawl between West Virginia and Pitt. These two schools don't like each other. It's as simple as that. I grew up, I've been a part of a lot of these for over the years. It's just simple as that. It's our version of the backyard brawl.
Absolutely. So we will head now to our field reporter, Taryn Myers, who is live with Fairmont Senior head.
It's Meyer with Coach Bartik. Coach, what does the East-West game mean to you and your boys?
Well, as you're asking that, our band is coming around the track right here. It's a little hard to hear, and it's a perfect example of the pageantry that goes along with a game that's lasted 104 years, and excited to be a part of it and do it again tonight.
Absolutely. And next, what is the difference in the preparation with playoffs being next week as you try and keep the in-person?
You can look at it a lot of different ways, but ultimately, you just to stay the course with what you do. The biggest thing is our guys have to be able to handle whatever adversity the season throws at them, and so regardless of what the next week might be, you have to worry about the opponent that's right in front of you. And so all week, we focus on this, the East-West game, and come into this as prepared as we can be.
And the last question for you: how is your team prepared to bounce back after your tough loss last week?
Yeah, it's always tough to bounce back from a loss, especially one like that. So our focus and goal all week has been, you want to get that bad taste out of your mouth, and you can't do that until you play against. We've been really excited to get back on the field, and I think that the number one way to kind of get past a big win or a big loss is to get back out and get back into action the following.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bradley.
Thank you to Taryn Myers on the field, as well as Fairmont Senior head coach Nick Bartik for joining us, and thank you for joining us as well here on EFSN. Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Viking Contracting. Viking Contracting is a North Central West Virginia contractor focused in the areas of additions, finished carpentry, electrical, kitchen and bath, decks, garages, and more. They are serving Marion and surrounding counties. To schedule an estimate with Viking Contracting, you can call Ron Jones at 304-534-2473. So thank you very much for joining us. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button on our YouTube page here at EFSN. And now let's go back to Tara Myers, where she is joined by East Fairmont.
It's Sarah Myers back here with the East Fairmont Bees head coach, Coach Eckle. Coach, what does playing an East-West game mean to you and the boys?
Well, I think it's a big game, obviously, because it's a city rival game, and it goes back so long. It'd be the oldest in the state, so there's a lot of history to it, and they're getting a part of history.
And coming off a win with Lewis County and clinching the playoff seats, what is your plan to try and keep working towards a home playoff game?
Well, we've won 3 in a row, and the next, for us to host at home, we have to take care of business tonight, and our kids know that, right? So that's kind of what they're shooting for.
What will be the toughest challenge playing the Bears as you have a postseason to look forward to?
Well, the big thing is they have a lot of weapons, right? Our senior has a lot of weapons. They have like 20-some seniors, so they're a very experienced team that knows how to play. They've been in these type of games. But we hope that our guys can know their jobs and do their jobs, and then, take care of tonight, and then we have another week to prepare for next week.
Absolutely. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Back to you, Bradley.
Thank you again to Taryn Myers and East Fairmont coach Shane Eckle for joining us on tonight's pregame show, brought to you by Viking Contracting. As Coach Eckle alluded to, the Bees enter tonight's contest on a 3-game win streak, having started that 3-game streak after their Week 6 bye. They defeated Weir on the road 36-23, defeated Liberty at home on their homecoming 34-29. We're on bye again in Week 9, and then last week defeated Lewis County 42-21, that game being played at Duval Rozier Field in Fairmont State. Fairmont Senior, meanwhile, enters this game coming off their first loss of the season. Obviously, a huge matchup last week between the Polar Bears and Bridgeport coming away victorious in that one, 56-28. So, Brent, before we get into more of the history between these two programs, between these two schools, let's look at where East Fairmont is right now on the season, sitting at 5-3, number 9 in Class AAA. Obviously, a win tonight would be gigantic for not just the history with West Side, but obviously with their playoff hopes as well. It certainly pushed them into a host playoff position, but coming in on a 3-game win streak, really correcting things after that mid-season bye week. What have you seen from the Bees these past 3 victories and really gaining victories at very important times? I mean, they've put themselves right back into the thick of the postseason picture based on their recent play.
Yeah, after the Preston game, which was not a very good game for East Fairmont, they had that week off. They were able to get prepared and get ready, and they went on a 3-game win streak after that long road trip to Weir. Came back, got a nice game on homecoming, had a bye week, played very well against Lewis County. But in the last 3 weeks, what I've seen is our defense. We're forcing turnovers by guys in our secondary. Our secondary struggled against Lewis County. We all saw that. We gave up a lot of the deep plays. Blavelt's been playing well on the offensive side, which we weren't expecting, but he's also been playing very well on the defensive side of the ball. I see some of your notes here that you had. We had 4 takeaways against Lewis County last week, couple picks by Heskett, and then we had Van Gilder and Kramer picking some stuff off. But I'm really liking our interior line on the defense. We're getting pressure on the quarterback, which means we can turn those into turnovers. That's one thing I've liked in the last 3 weeks is the way we've been playing on defense, more than our offensive side, because we know we can score points. We have the speed to do it. We got the ability to do that. But our defense is keeping our offense off the field where we're not giving up big plays and turn around giving our guys back time. We're getting a little bit of rest for those guys that don't play both ways.
I agree. Coach Eckle has been so adamant this year defensively about bending but not breaking, maybe allowing teams to get into the red zone but forcing them to sustain drives. Don't give up big plays. Force the opposing offense to trickle the ball down the field, stay ahead of the chains again and again. And as you talked about, East Fairmont's defense has been very opportunistic at times with getting takeaways. We saw that last week against Lewis County. Came up with a couple of big takeaways as well in that victory over Liberty, including 2 interceptions by Anthony Corwin. So when you get those big plays defensively where you're turning the other team over or maybe stopping a 4th down conversion attempt, that's huge for this offense because this offense has really found its sync in these past 3 victories, I would say, with really developing the balance between the running game and the passing attack. Obviously, sophomore quarterback Rowan Kramer has been so instrumental in both of those areas, and we've really seen Rowan and offensive coordinator Ben Callaway and this whole collective unit get comfortable with how much to use him as a ball carrier and how much to just allow him to drop back to pass. sometimes he stays on schedule with his reads, but he also has the ability to extend the plays, play off schedule, and that's been huge for the big play ability of this offense.
Yeah, like last week, I believe we only threw the ball, 10, 12 times. He completed, I think, all of them, but maybe one or two. I'm sorry, I see it right here. It was 9 of 10 for 212, 3 touchdowns. We also carried the ball 12 times, so that's a pretty good balance. You're throwing the ball 19 times you threw the ball, and you ran it 12. That's pretty good balance. He has progressed pretty much since. I'll go back to Bridgeport week 3. So that was a game for us that was tough. Mm-hmm. It was tough on the kids. It was tough on the fans. Tough on the coaches. Then you get Braxton County at home, kind of a game where we had expectations to do big things. And we did. But after that Preston loss on week 5, that gave him that midweek bye. And then when we get on the road at Weir, which you and I covered up there, he played lights out at Weir. I think he only had one bad throw, which was a pick early in the third quarter, right after halftime, just misread the receiver. They kind of jumped the ball. But his decision-making now, when to carry it, when to throw, has progressed. Even against North Marion, he made some good reads, but he struggled at times for being his first start. But I'll tell you what, man, that kid's got gut.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. He's a competitor.
He's a tough competitor, and the kids respond to that. When your quarterback's coming off the field after a bad play with his head up, not his head down, the kids are seeing that, and his receivers, his linemen, they're there patting him on his head, getting him ready for that next play. And that's something I've seen him grow since week 1 to week 11.
Yeah, we talked about the balance. 411 yards for the Bees in total offense last week in their win over the Minutemen. 199 rush yards, 212 pass yards. So there's that balance that we're talking about. Obviously, when we talk about East Fairmont's passing attack, how good Rowan Kramer has been, his top target, Cole Van Gilder's made it pretty easy for him. The seniors have been having a heck of a season, but really been spectacular these past couple weeks. I mean, he made some big catches against Weir, against Liberty, and then last week in the Minutemen, he had his best performance of the season. 4 catches, 153 yards, 3 touchdowns for the senior. What have you seen from Cole Van Gilder this season, but especially these last couple weeks?
His separation that he's making off the reads of the corners. He's reading the corners' eyes. A lot of the 2 touchdowns he had last week were slants, where he was able to get in front of the corner, in front of the safeties, and his burst of speed. And then he had that one long bomb that Rowan just threw on a dime that you usually don't see from a high school kid that young. He just put it in Cole's hands. Cole actually had another one that got called back on a hold. Yep. So technically Cole had 4 touchdowns, but one got called back. But just the way he's seeing his field vision. Since North Marion to now, his field vision has increased 100 points. I mean, he's making plays and taking a little bit of pressure off of Gavin too. So if they're keying on Cole a lot, we can't get him the ball. That leaves Gavin, Owen Music, and a couple of those other guys some opportunities to catch the ball. So he's creating plays for himself, but he's also creating plays for his teammates as well. And that's something he's gotten better at in the last 3-4 weeks.
Right, absolutely. So we talked about the Bees. Let's touch on Fairmont Senior a little bit here before we go to a break. The Polar Bears coming into this game following their first loss of the season, falling to Bridgeport last week, 56-28. Obviously, when you're Fairmont Senior, I think they were down, 35-7, 35-14 in that game. You are not accustomed to that if you're a member of the Polar Bears. It was their fewest points in a game this season and their most allowed. So that gives you an idea of where things fell for the Polar Bears last week. But overall, on the season, been a very dominant team. So far, they've outscored opponents on the season 436-80. So averaging just over 48 points a game, allowing just under 9 points a game. Average margin of victory by almost 40 points. So when Coach Eckle said pregame with Taryn Myers down there on the field, Fairmont Senior has a lot of weapons. And if you're East Fairmont, how do you begin to sort of grapple with all the team speed and the athleticism that they bring to the table?
I think for East Fairmont, we got to play our game. One is not let them get ahead of the chains. Mm-hmm. We can't make the bonehead plays. We can't have the offsides, the false starts, the pass interferences, things like that. Fairmont Senior, I know we were at the game last week, but I was able to see some highlights against Bridgeport. Bridgeport's probably the best team in AAA.
Yeah,
I know we don't see a lot of this.
I mean, that was a statement victory.
Yeah, we saw them firsthand back in week 4, and I told you after the game that's probably the best team Bridgeport's had in 20 years. And you look back to score 56 points. Fairmont Senior has scored 56 points over 53 times against Elkins, Buchanan. Well, I can't count 5 times. North Marion, 56 points against Byrd and 55 points against Lewis County. We put up 42 against Lewis County. Possibly could have put 48. But Fairmont Senior is a team that we all know that comes out and wants to bust you in the mouth and make a statement immediately. So if they come out and try that with East Fairmont, how can East Fairmont respond to that? Because we know Fairmont Senior can jump on you fast. They're like the Alabamas of old where they get on those points and they just start putting it on you quick. Fairmont Senior still has that ability to do it. They got a lot of seniors. They've got a lot of juniors and sophomores that been in this system. They know how to play football. It's just how East Fairmont responds to that, their toughness and their quickness, because they're big up front. You got Bigelow, Tristan Ramsey, excuse me, Arbogast. There's another kid I've been watching a little bit on too. I believe his name's number 60, Powers Dawson. He's a senior, 6 foot 270. So they've got guys up front that can block. I want to see what our strength on our defensive line can do against their offense. Yeah, their starting quarterback is typically not playing tonight. So we have another quarterback in there we know nothing about. So if we get some pressure on him, I was watching during warm-ups. He's a lefty. I think we can blitz him from the right side and throw some different things at him. Who knows what can happen?
Yeah, you mentioned that Fairmont Senior offensive line, such an underrated part of this team year to year. You get caught up in all the skill position players, but how Fairmont Senior is able to win in the trenches week to week has been so pivotal to their success over the years under head coach Nick Bardick. You mentioned big storyline tonight for the Polar Bears. Starting quarterback Brody Whitehair not expected to play this week after taking a big hit last week against the Indians, so that's obviously going to change some things for their offense. As you just mentioned, it'll be interesting to see how they go about navigating that on the field. But we will take a break here on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz, and when we come back, we'll look at a little bit about this East-West rivalry, the history between these two programs. So stay with us. We'll be back momentarily here on EFSN.
Contracting. North Central West Virginia's general contractor, focused on the areas of additions, finished carpentry, electrical, kitchen and bath, decks, garages, and more, serving Marion and the surrounding counties. To schedule an estimate, call Ron at 304-534-2473. Viking Contracting, a veteran-owned and operated business.
Finally got the kids showered and off to school. Husband's off to work. Time for a nice hot bath. Ah! Cold water!
Don't let a cold bath ruin your day. Tri-County Plumbing is here to help. Our expert technicians can install a new hot water heater so you can enjoy a warm and relaxing bath whenever you want. And our team is dedicated to providing fast and reliable service. We serve Mon, Marion, and Preston counties, and our team is dedicated to providing fast and reliable service. Don't wait any longer. Call Tri-County Plumbing today or online at tricounty-pc.com. Tri-County Plumbing, keeping your water hot and your day relaxing.
And Gold Graphics in Morgantown, West Virginia is your one stop for all of your local high school and middle school needs. From shirts and jackets to hats and blankets and so much more, Blue and Gold Graphics has you covered.
Whether you're an on-field or backyard athlete, you know injuries can happen. And when they do, there's Elevate Physical Therapy in Whitehall. We specialize in sports medicine, orthopedics, post-surgical, and other forms of therapy. We help our patients reach their peak of health, wellness, and recovery. Patients are evaluated and treated by only licensed physical therapists. We're right next to Middletown Homes in Whitehall. Visit us at elevateptwv.com or call us at 304-534-8122. Elevate Physical Therapy. We'll get you back in the game.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
Okay.
All right. Swiping now.
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
MPB Print and Sign Superstore can put your brand on just about anything. Signs and car wraps to apparel and promotional items, plus much more. Shop online, visit our showroom, or schedule an in-person visit at your location today. Whether it's wrapping your vehicle or embroidering custom apparel, MPB makes it easy for you. Visit us at mpbonline.com. It's time to print, wrap, or stitch your next project with MPB Print and Sign Superstore.
The Bailey Agency has sponsored East Fairmont Athletics for over 50 years. Just another reason why your neighbors are insured with us.
In a world where technology never stops, you need an electrical partner that keeps pace. eSolutions provides high-quality electrical services for homes, businesses, and industries. Our experts design, install, and maintain systems that power your life. But what sets us apart? Our unique blend of electrical and system integration expertise. We create solutions that optimize performance, efficiency, and safety. And we're hiring. Join our team of innovators and help shape the future of electrical solutions. eSolutions, powering your progress. Keeping the bees on the air. eSolutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial electrical needs. eSolutions proudly supports East Fairmont Athletics. Let's go Bees!
Welcome back here at East West Stadium, where we are just over 5 minutes away from the kickoff in the 104th all-time meeting between East Fairmont and Fairmont Senior. Obviously, this game means a lot to everyone in Fairmont, and now we will hear from some East Fairmont and Fairmont Senior fans down on the field with our field reporter.
Hi, it's Taryn Myers, and I'm here with two alumni, one from Fairmont Senior, one from East Fairmont. For Fairmont Senior, we have Roger, the super fan. Roger, what does the East-West rivalry mean to you or mean to the community?
It's been so great for all these years and everything. It brings the community out, and everybody looks forward to it every year.
Thank you. And what was different, would you say, a few years ago compared to now with the rivalry?
Well, lately it hasn't been too much of a rivalry because the Polar Bears dominated for so long. But maybe they'll get the program right, and maybe someday it'll be a good rivalry again.
And are you going to keep showing up for the later years?
Oh, definitely. I'll be here for the duration.
All right. And beside me on the other side, we have Jim Henderson. What is the difference as, do you think, a spectator and somebody who played on the field for East Fairmont?
Well, the spectators all get into it, because it's the rivalry thing. The football player in me roots and hollers if it's a pass or a fumble, but both the players and the fans are into it. Back when I played football, in '74, it was still played on Saturday, the day of Veterans Day, and so it was a sunshiny day, but it was still muddy. There was no AstroTurf, and like Roger said, the tilt goes to Fairmont Senior for the number of wins. Although my younger brother, his '79 model, whooped them good when they ended up going and lost to DuPont in the finals. So
absolutely,
comes and goes, back and forth. It's a good thing for the city.
And what would you say is the most special thing about the East-West rivalry?
It's deep. People who aren't from around here don't understand the difference that little river makes. Back when I was in high school, nobody talked to people from West Side. Nobody from West Side talked much to people from East Side. Now, kids know each other from grade school. They're playing basketball together or soccer, and that blew my mind when I first started hearing all that.
As an athlete of East Fairmont, I can say that's very true. And finally, as a spectator, as an ex-player, do you plan to keep coming to the games?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. Thank you guys so much, and back to you, Bradley.
Myers, our field reporter, as well as those two gentlemen for joining us on tonight's broadcast on EFSN. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. You can also tune in on your radio dial on 98.3 The Buzz. And we have just over 3 minutes until kickoff here as we are coming to you live from East West Stadium as part of the Viking Contracting pregame show. And once again, Viking Contracting is a North Central West Virginia contractor focused in the areas of additions, finished carpentry, electrical, kitchen and bath, decks, garages, and more. They are serving Marion and surrounding counties. To schedule an estimate with Viking, you can call Ron Jones at 304-534-2473. So we talked, Brent, before the break a little bit about the rivalry, the history between these two programs. As a Polar Bear super fan Roger said down there on the field, this rivalry has certainly leaned Fairmont Senior, especially in recent years. The Polar Bears lead the all-time series 68-28 with 7 ties in there as well. This is the 104th all-time meeting, as we mentioned, but here lately, Fairmont Senior has won the past 16 meetings. In those 16 games, they have outscored East Fairmont 659-123 for a average margin of victory of 33.5 points. So certainly it's been all Fairmont Senior since 2000. Fairmont Senior is 21-3 and with an average margin of victory of 26 points. So here recently, certainly Fairmont Senior West Side has owned this East-West game. What is for East Fairmont, obviously, you're going in as an underdog here tonight. You have this history against you. How much do you just have to embrace playing with pride, playing for your entire community tonight as you get set to go against the Polar Bears?
I've seen a lot of these East-West games. I've been to a lot of them. A lot of them have been good. Some of them have been bad. We haven't performed well in the last 16 years. We have been able to move the ball on them. We have scored touchdowns. They have been blowouts. But I can tell you now, from being an East Fairmont kid, went to East Fairmont, knowing what this game means, we got to go out here and play with pride. We got to represent our side of the river. We don't need to go to the level of what we've seen before. We just need to play our game. Keep our mind straight. Don't let the negativity from the West Fairmont kids and what other people say. Just go play our game.
Absolutely. So East Fairmont's last win in this rivalry came in 2007 with the Bees winning that game 27-21 in overtime, no less. But as we mentioned, Fairmont Senior winners of the past 16 meetings. Coach Eckle is 0-5 all time against the Polar Bears here in his tenure with the Bees. But who knows, 104th could be the lucky number for the Bees here tonight, as we are just moments from kickoff between East Fairmont and Fairmont Senior. Again, this game will have significant playoff implications. East Fairmont entering tonight's game at 5-3, number 9 in Class AAA. The Bees have won 3 straight. Fairmont Senior, meanwhile, coming in at 8-1, number 3 in Class AAA. Their most recent outing was their only loss of the season, with the Polar Bears falling here at East West Stadium last week to Bridgeport, 56-28.
The coin toss, Brad, just happened. Fairmont Senior is going to receive the kick. So we got to see our defense first. We talked about it just a few minutes ago about our defense. I'm anxious to see what our line does, see what kind of pressure we can get on 5'11", 185 senior quarterback Logan Canfield. Let's see what we got. We're going to get tested early. We'll see if we can slow down this powerful Fairmont Senior offense.
Yeah, and we'll see what we will see as well from Canfield. His first really significant action of the season with starting quarterback Brody Whitehair out tonight due to injury. Canfield, the senior, will get the look at quarterback. And we should mention, kicking off for the Bees here will be Carson Church, who has had a busy couple of days obviously playing down in Beckley yesterday as part of the East Fairmont boys soccer team. Now coming up here, kicking duties. And because our boys team won in the state semifinals on yesterday, they will play for the championship game tomorrow. So Church will probably be booking it back down there tonight, I guess, as he prepares to rejoin the Bees on the pitch as they get ready to play for a state title tomorrow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that both our boys and girls soccer teams are both in Beckley playing for a state championship. I believe the girls play at 9:30, and then the boys play in the afternoon.
Yep.
So 11:30. So if you're not doing anything tomorrow and you're looking to make a trip, head on down 79 and kick it over to Beckley and go watch the Bees boys and girls soccer teams play for a state championship.
Yeah, certainly the opportunity to make history tomorrow for our two soccer programs. Congratulations to Coach Eric Wright and the girls program, as well as Ian Hayhurst and the boys side. It's been a great season for soccer, been a great fall season overall for East Fairmont Athletics, and we are set to go here. Church kicking it deep. Here's the run back, and good coverage there by East Fairmont's kickoff team as Fairmont Senior will start deep in its own end.
Yeah, the tackle was there by Caden Barr. Caden was able to get down the field and make a good open field tackle for the Bees special teams. I'll tell you what, Brad, special teams this year has been pretty good for East Fairmont. I think we've only given up, maybe 2 kick returns for touchdowns. I believe one was against Liberty Harrison. I think North Marion housed one on us. But it's been a pretty good year for East Fairmont's special teams as well.
Yeah, and on our own return side, obviously Gavin Murphy has provided a number of big highlights so far as kick return. Here's a big play on first down. Adrian Fleming knifing in is going to tackle number 21.
Chris Wilson was on the carry. He's a senior, 5'8", 193. Pretty good running back. The kid's fast. He does make good plays. But it was nice to see our linebackers there stepping up. Adrian Fleming.
Yeah, heck of a job by Fleming.
Yeah, he's had a big year at the linebacker position as well.
So that'll be a 3-yard loss on first down. Fairmont Senior already playing behind the sticks, as we talked about. Here's Wilson again, and he's going to get back near the original line of scrimmage, as that'll bring up a 3rd and long. So already new quarterback Logan Campfield being tested here for the Polar Bears as he's facing a 3rd and long situation at his own 15-yard line.
Again, Fleming on the tackle again. Fleming was able to get good penetration and help get that tackle, along with, I believe, Larry.
So here's Canfield in the gun. He's got 2 receivers to his left, the far side of the field, and he's looking that way. Now he's going to pull it down, run with it, and he's going to have the first down and more as he's out past the 30-yard line. So a big run there by Canfield. And you see it right there. That might be the game plan for Fairmont Senior. If that first read is not there, you wonder if they're just telling Canfield, tuck it and run. Use your athleticism. Be an athlete out there.
Yeah, because we don't know much about Logan. You know, he played a little bit against Bridgeport the other night, but it was pretty much in cleanup duty at the end of the game. So now we got to get a feel of the Canfield kid and see what we can do to keep him in the pocket.
At 1st and 10, Canfield in the gun. He's going to drop back again. Throwing to that far side of the field, a looping pass out there, and it looks like it's going to be hauled in. A nice catch there by
Calger.
Calger on the reception for Fairmont Senior.
He took a hit, though. East Fairmont's linebackers and line was able to get in there and at least get some pressure on him.
Yeah, he did pay for that reception, that's for sure. So 1st and 10 now, Polar Bears out to their own 44-yard line after back-to-back first downs. Here's Canfield keeping it, and Camden Bonner and Hayden Biggie all over that one for the Bees as they get another tackle for loss.
Let's talk about Biggie for a minute. He's had a heck of a senior season at that linebacker position. We saw him a little bit on offense last week against Lewis County. And Bonner's had a heck of a season as well.
Yeah, Bonner, a guy who can really flash there. And we talked about Biggie at the beginning of the season with Coach Eckle, and he was like, he's making the standard plays, but not the, plays that a superstar like him can make. But so far, these last couple weeks, as the Bees have gotten rolling, we've seen more of those big plays from Hayden Biggie at his linebacker spot.
Yes, and we need him to step up big tonight. Got our first flag of the game.
And that's going to be an encroachment penalty on the Bees. So that's one thing we talked about pregame. Obviously, East Fairmont has had penalty woes all season long, and you can ill afford to let those crop up against a team like Fairmont Senior tonight.
No, we can't give them free yardage. They're quick enough to make their own plays. We can't help them in any situation at all.
That's going to bring up a 2nd and 7, and that read option kind of went the wrong way, but Canfield making the most of it. And he's going to have, it looks like, another first down as he picks up 8 on that carry. But Wilson went one way, Canfield turned the other on the handoff, but able to react quickly, tuck it, and get a first down for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, Cole Vangelder was there to help make that play as well. Little misdirection. That's what's going to happen there. It's not really a misdirection play. It's just they're not familiar with this quarterback, so they got to learn their reads with this quarterback. And hopefully that may turn into a turnover later on down the line for the Bees.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Fairmont Senior now in East Fairmont territory at the Bees' 46-yard line. Canfield in the gun. Wilson set behind him. He's going to look to air this one out. Looking down the seam and overthrew that pass. Brock Martin, the intended target there for the Polar Bears.
Yeah, he put just a little bit too much on that one, but it was still good coverage by the Bees secondary.
And again, we saw on that play, not asking Canfield to do too much. A little bit of a play fake there. Just throw that seam pattern. We're really only 2 guys even out on pass routes on that play. So trying to simplify things for him early. Here's the handoff to Wilson, and he's bottled up behind the line. Biggie, the first one there for the Bees as he comes up with another big play there.
Yeah, Biggie read that from the get-go. Again, I'm going to talk highly of Biggie tonight. I'm very impressed with the way he's been playing on defense, especially the last couple of weeks, making plays on both sides of the ball.
Already 1.5 tackles for loss for Biggie on this opening drive of Fairmont Senior. So 3rd and 11 now for the Polar Bears at the East Fairmont 47-yard line. Got to wonder if maybe they're in 4-down territory here, depending on what happens with this play. Canfield's going to, and he's going to be decked by Heskett coming in off the edge. Canfield never even knew he was coming. Canfield, the lefty, Heskett coming from his blind side and delivers a big hit there to force the incomplete pass.
We were talking about that, Brad, before the game about East Fairmont's blitzing on him. Good call by Coach Eckle there and the defensive staff there to draw up a nice blitz on 3rd down. So we were able to stop Fairmont Senior on their first possession. They were able to move the ball a little bit, but East Fairmont was able to adapt to it and make a big play there on defense.
And now this play is blown dead. East Fairmont having to burn a timeout here in punt receive. So you obviously don't want to have to spend a timeout in that situation. We'll take one with them. We'll be back here in 30 seconds on EFSN.
When someone has a concussion, whether a child or a professional athlete, time is everything. Each patient at the WVU Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute's Concussion and Brain Injury Center follows a treatment plan tailored to their individual needs. Our concussion specialists quickly identify the signs and symptoms of concussion and direct patients to the best path for recovery. Visit wvumedicine.org/concussion or call 855-WVU-CARE.
Hey, this is Jennifer from Triple S Harley-Davidson, West Virginia's premier Harley-Davidson dealership, offering a full line of Harley-Davidson motorcycles, all the accessories needed to customize your ride, and a huge selection of apparel and collectibles. But we are more than just a dealership. We have events going on all year. From chili cook-offs to concerts, demo days to bike nights, there's something for everyone. Visit our website at tripleshd.com for inventory and event information. Then come ride with us at Triple S, exit 155 off I-79 in Morgantown.
Welcome back here at East West Stadium. Fairmont Senior punting it away on a 4th and 11. And Gavin Murphy running under this one, trying to field it. He bobbles. It looks like he got back on it. So the Bees avoid disaster there as Ron Kramer and the offense will take the first time at their own 20-yard line.
Good stand by the Bees defense, Brad. I know we've talked about them during the pregame. Good stand by the Bees. Now let's see what our offense can do. We got a little bit of momentum on our side now. So let's see what we can make of this offensive series and see we get the ball in our playmakers' hands.
Yeah, if you're Coach Shane Eckle, you're going to take that every time with what the defense was able to do on Fairmont Senior's opening series there. We talked about preventing the Polar Bears from staying ahead of the sticks. East Fairmont's defense had success doing that on that first drive. Couple tackles for loss, and then we saw the big hit by Heskett to force the incompletion on third down. East Fairmont's first play from scrimmage is a run by Kramer. Nets nothing on the play, so 2nd and 10 now coming up for the Bees.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see how much they're going to run Rowan tonight. If we're going to let him air it out, if we're going to get a lot of carries from him, I'm anxious to see what they do with him.
And here's Kramer. He's going to pitch this, and that's going to be a pass as he tossed it forward on that play. I think that was Owen Music on the receiving end for the Bees.
Yes. He's came around a little bit here, Brad, lately. Owen's starting to make a little bit of noise here on the Bees offense.
Yeah, he's been pressed into action due to some injuries in the receiving corps for the Bees. Tristan Boone, River McLean, notable injuries there, and Music's made the most of his opportunity here in these past couple weeks.
That's what you need. You need guys to step up when guys get hurt. And
next man up, Brent. Next man up mentality.
Same way in basketball. Next person up.
So here's Kramer, 3rd and 7. He's going to fake it, go to his main man, Cole Van Gelder. Van Gelder with a toe tap. And
a flag.
A flag comes in late.
Late hit?
So it looks like Van Gelder had the first down without the penalty yards, and then with that, it's going to set up the Bees with even more favorable field position here, as it's probably going to be a late hit on the Polar Bears.
Personal foul. Defense. Number 6. 15-yard penalty.
And it is a personal foul on the Polar Bears. So Van Gelder with an 8-yard reception, tack on another 15, and you're looking at a 23-yard play there for the Bees. It's going to push East Fairmont nearly to midfield at their own 46-yard line for this 1st and 10 play.
That's something that Fairmont Senior's been doing lately, getting those
Here's a halfback pass from Blauvelt, and no one down there for the Bees as receiver Chase Hudson got jammed up at the line of scrimmage. But a little trickeration there from offensive coordinator Ben Calloway and this East Fairmont offense.
Yes, that's something we haven't seen much of. But back what I was saying, that's something Fairmont Senior's been getting themselves in trouble with lately, is those personal fouls, giving teams extra yardage that they don't need to give. East Fairmont there was, Cole was already out of bounds by 2 or 3 yards, and then he gets blasted. Let's see what East Fairmont can do with this now, getting that extra 15 yards.
And here's Kramer out of the gun. He's going to hand this off. Blauvelt, nothing doing there, as he will maybe get back to the line of scrimmage. But you mentioned the penalty issues for Fairmont Senior. That crept up in a big way last week with Fairmont Senior having 10 penalties against Bridgeport for over 100 yards. So 10 penalties for 100-plus yards in infractions. That's going to set your offense and your defense back a little bit, and it cost them dearly against the Indians. So this will be a 3rd and 11 as that Blauvelt run results in a 1-yard loss. Another 3rd and long for Kramer. And here's the pass rusher coming in. This ball's underthrown and nearly intercepted, but that pass will fall incomplete as 2 Polar Bears went up to grab it, and they kind of stole it from one another. And Kramer lucky that one fell incomplete.
Yes. Number 6 for Fairmont Senior. I don't have a name on him, Brad. Do you have anything?
I probably do not.
Yeah, I don't know who.
PA said Carrillo or something, so we'll look for something. Carrillo, Rudy Carrillo, sophomore.
Where are you finding him at?
Where it says 6.
I don't have that one.
6 comes after 5, Brent.
I got a 4, then it goes to 10 on my schedule, on my list.
And this is going to be a favorable bounce for the Bees. And again, Fairmont Senior is going to be backed up for their 2nd series. This ball is going to be spotted inside the 10-yard line. So another tough situation coming up for Camfield, filling in again for the injured Brody Whitehair tonight at quarterback for the Polar Bears.
So both offenses stalled on their first possession of the game. So it's been a defensive battle here for the first 6 minutes of this game. So let's see what East Fairmont's defense can do now. we got them pinned back at the 6-yard line. So we got them where we need them right now.
So here's Canfield on the field for the Polar Bears' second offensive series. This is going to be an inside handoff, and that's Johnson trying to get the edge. He does and gets a lot more, cutting it back inside now, and he's still on his feet, out across midfield. Johnson still running. Blauvelt trying to chase him down. He spins out of that tackle. Johnson still on his feet, and he's going to get this all the way down to the East Fairmont 30-yard line. What a run there by Damani Johnson.
Yeah, Damani Johnson has carried the majority of the load for Fairmont Senior this year. Tell you what, that kid's got some good speed on him.
Yeah, and the elusiveness there. We saw him get the edge, then cut it back. Blauvelt giving chase, able to spin out of that tackle. Johnson got a couple more yards, and that's a 62-yard run for Damani Johnson to completely flip the field for Fairmont Senior.
Yeah, we had Fairmont Senior where we won in there, and then one big play. They can do those kinds
Here's
of
a
things.
little Miles Austin play, and that's the flip to Dinger on that play, and there's a flag, so we'll check on that.
Where he threw that looks like it's a hold. Let me see our replay here on our side.
10 yards from previous spot.
And that is going to be a hold, so the second penalty of the night for the Polar Bears will take away that positive gain, as East Fairmont will now have a 1st and 20.
Fairmont Senior with 2 crucial penalties early in this game.
And Canfield in the gun. He's got Wilson set behind him. Dom Fantasia in a bit of an H-back position for the Polar Bears. Here's Wilson. He's got a big gain, cutting it back. And this is going to be a Fairmont Senior touchdown as Chris Wilson took that off the left edge, cut it back into the middle of the field, avoided a tackler, and goes 41 yards to the house for a Fairmont Senior touchdown. Polar Bears lead this one 6-0 with just under 4 minutes to play in this opening period.
Yeah. That was quick work of the Polar Bear offense. That's something we talked about in pregame, is how fast Fairmont Senior is and how fast they can score points. And we saw it right there.
Yeah, a big run by Johnson to completely flip the field, and then there's Wilson. So you had a 62-yard run by Johnson, 41-yard touchdown run by Wilson. We see the big playability. Point after attempt is good. And with 3:58 to go in this opening period, Fairmont Senior leads this one 7-0. We'll be back here momentarily on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz.
No, not again.
Don't let this happen to you. Clogged drains and sewage backups can be a real nightmare. Tri-County Plumbing can help. Our expert technicians use state-of-the-art equipment to snake your pipes, prevent clogs, sewage backups, and embarrassing moments. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Tri-County Plumbing today to schedule your drain maintenance and keep your pipes flowing freely. Tri-County Plumbing, keeping your pipes clear and your sanity intact.
Or somebody that you know have a business that would benefit by being seen by thousands of people every single week? Want to support East Fairmont Athletics? Then consider sponsoring the East Fairmont Athletics live streams. For more information, contact Athletic Director James Beckman at jbeckman@k12.wv.us.
Back here at East West Stadium, where Fairmont Senior has struck first in the 104th East-West game, as Chris Wilson goes 41 yards for the touchdown to get the Polar Bears on the board, 7-0 with 3:58 to play in this opening quarter. And now Fairmont Senior will kick it deep. Gavin Murphy back deep for the Bees, and Fairmont Senior not scared of him as some other teams have been as they kick it right to him. Murphy with a return out to the 26-yard line. So Ron Kramer and the East Fairmont offense will get its second crack at it here. The Bees punted on their first drive, picked up a first down, but not able to sustain that opening drive as they had to punt it away.
Brad, do you think East Fairmont's going to try to take a shot on this on these corners of Fairmont Senior, or you think we're going to play the small game and do the dink and dunk stuff that we know we can do too as well?
I think they're going to stay within their offense, stick to the offensive script, but you'd like to see them take a shot early just to see what if you got a favorable matchup here. Oh, and here's a fumble. This ball pops right into Chase Hudson's hand. So Kramer on the keeper, and he was hit low by a Fairmont Senior defender. Ball popped right up in the air, but fortunately right into the hands of an East Fairmont B, as East Fairmont will retain possession, and that's a 9-yard pickup on first down.
Yeah, the ball bounced our way there, didn't it, Brad? You don't see that too many times.
That ball shot right up in the air, right into the breadbasket of another East Fairmont player there.
We have a lineman checking out the game here. Looks like he's holding his stomach.
Yeah, that's Camden Bonner. So he hopefully just maybe got the wind knocked out of him or something as he looks to be trying to catch his breath there. Here's Kramer again on the keeper. He's going to have the first down as he picks up about 4 on that play.
Good read there by Roan. He was able to get his way for his blocks there for a second, which generally with a fast defensive line, you don't generally have to wait on your blocks, but our line was able to get a good push there against the front of the Bears, and was able to get a good first down for the Bees. So some good luck there for the Bees there on this drive. We're taking our time here, getting the play in. Trying to run this clock down a little bit.
Kramer in the gun. Fleming stationed to his left. He's got 2 receivers and Hayden Biggie, the H-back, to his right side. Here's the handoff to Fleming. And he's going to have a decent game. Pickup of about 4 on that first down play.
Chris Wilson on the tackle for Fairmont Senior. He was right there with Fleming.
So East Fairmont bleeding that play clock a little bit. We talked to Coach Eckle very early on this season about the different tempos that East Fairmont's able to play with offensively. And right here, taking their time, getting up to the line of scrimmage. Under 10 on the play clock now as Kramer gets set to take the snap. He's going to keep it himself. Got a lead blocker in Fleming. Wilson trying to get off that block, and he does to take down Kramer for a minimal gain. East Fairmont player lost his helmet. Buda Crookshanks losing the lid on that play.
He has to sit out one play.
So Kramer, no gain on that run, is going to bring up a third down for the Polar Bears. And unfortunately, you want a Buda for this play as you're in kind of a possible passing situation here. You'd like to have his pass protection in there. And here's Kramer. He's got 2 receivers to his right, that being the far side of the field. Van Gilder, the lone receiver, to the near side. And he's going to look for Van Gilder and just overthrows him as he was trying to hit him on that quick hitch route.
Yeah, he had a little bit of pressure in his face. He brings that ball down a little bit. Cole's open. Cole could have made a good play there.
Yeah, good job by Van Gilder to create separation at the last moment. Kind of had that arm extension with the Fairmont Senior DB. Separated at the perfect time, but Kramer's pass just a little high there, and East Fairmont will have to punt it away for a second straight time here to open this game.
But good ball movement there a little bit, Brad. We were able to move the ball a little bit. But now we have to put our defense back in a situation now where we can see if we can hold Fairmont Senior here to some big plays again.
So Kramer punts it away. Fairmont Senior will start with their best field position of the night, but still only at their own 21-yard line, as the Polar Bears have started their previous drives at their own 15 and their own 6.
All right, Brad, what do you think you're going to see out of Fairmont Senior here? They're going to keep with the ground game? Are they going to try to air it out? We haven't seen much of Cannon Dinger yet. We haven't seen a lot of...
Yeah, might see if we can get a quick hitter to Dinger, maybe with like a bubble screen. We saw him come in motion with that Tavon Austin-like pitch to him, and Canfield's going to keep it on first down. But, you know, you obviously don't have Whitehair, so you don't have probably the full playbook at your disposal. Not sure how much confidence they have in Canfield. And also, you want to give him some easy completions so he can get his confidence. So maybe a short, quick pass to Dinger, try to get him in space with a blocker in front, see what he can do with it.
Yeah, we haven't seen much of Brock Martin yet either. So Fairmont Senior typically not using the guys we're used to seeing all the time. So,
and Fairmont Senior is going to take a timeout, it looks like, with just 28 seconds to go in this first quarter. So once again, if you're just joining us, Fairmont Senior leading this one 7-0. The Polar Bears scoring on their previous drive via a 41-yard touchdown run by Chris Wilson. As we're here for the annual East-West game, the 104th all-time meeting between these two programs, the longest-standing rivalry in the state of West Virginia. Brent, what do you remember maybe from back in your playing days when it came to the East-West game?
Well, like the gentleman said down there on the field for the game, we really didn't talk. We didn't have social media. You know, we didn't play the AAU ball. We didn't have all that stuff. When East-West week came, it was business. And it's changed over the years because of, you know, social media and these kids doing other things together and playing travel ball and things like that. But back when my cousin used to play at East Fairmont back in the 80s, going in, you know, the late 80s, early 90s, it was business. You know, East-West week, you didn't say a whole lot. You just let your play on the field do the talking.
Here's the Polar Bears second down play. Johnson, again, getting to the edge. He's going to have a nice game. Pickup of about 14, we'll say 13, as he gives the Polar Bears a first down. And that's probably going to take us to the end of the first quarter, depending on how quickly Fairmont Senior tries to get to the line here. They are going to break the huddle.
That was a good tackle by Corwin, by the way, out of his safety position.
Trying to get the Bees to jump here. East Fairmont nearly obliges, but they will stay steady here, and that will take us to the end of the opening period here. Fairmont Senior leading this one 7-0 over the Bees. We will be back shortly. Stay with us on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz.
Is your equipment ready to take the field? If not, check out John Deere's complete lineup of quality equipment at Middletown Tractor Sales. When every yard counts, our time of possession is unmatched with over 70 years of experience. At Middletown Tractor, we have designed a new play to give you a great deal on a 3025E compact utility tractor for only 0.9% for 84 months. So whether you're on the field or in the field, be your own MVP by choosing Middletown Tractor. Shop MiddletownTractor.com and make your main factor Middletown Tractor.
When unexpected illness or injury strikes, WVU Medicine Urgent Care at the Fairmont Gateway Clinic can provide you the help you and your family need. Days, evenings, weekends, and holidays, we're ready to get you back on track as quickly as possible. Can't make it into the clinic? Video visits are also available. To learn more, visit wvumedicine.org/UC Fairmont or call 855-WVU-CARE.
We are back here at East-West Stadium as we prepare to start the second quarter. Fairmont Senior leading East Fairmont 7-0. Polar Bears here on their third drive of the game out to their own 39-yard line. Here's the snap. Canfield looking for the deep shot, and his man's got a step, and that's going to be a Fairmont Senior touchdown. Brock Martin on the catch. That's going to be a 61-yard connection from Canfield to Brock Martin.
We talked about him a little bit ago, Brett, where we didn't see anything from him lately. Then all of a sudden he just blows by our corner and makes a house call. That was a nice ball by Canfield. Gave him credit. It's a nice throw. So our secondary now is got tested here in the second quarter for the first time, and now see how we adapt now about moving the ball on our side now.
Yeah, that was a beautiful ball from Canfield, as you said. Two East Fairmont defenders in the area, but he laid that thing out perfectly. Martin able to run on under it, broke a tackle, and then it was a cruise to 6 points. So Fairmont Senior now leading 14-0 as they score on the opening play of this second quarter. With East Fairmont set to get the ball back, Brown, what are you expecting to see here for East Fairmont? How much do things change with you now facing a 14-0 deficit early on in this one?
Your offense changes now. We've seen the run game. We haven't seen our deep balls yet. We know we can throw them. We know we can score them. I think now we got to open up the playbook down, go to page 2, 3, 4, whatever it may be, and let's start taking some shots down the field. Fairmont Senior's doing it. We know we can too. Let's see it. I think we need to start seeing the deep ball.
Yep.
Or something underneath where we get some separation in front of their linebackers, some slants, some outs, something of that nature. But I think at some point here in this quarter, being down 14-0 with 11:49 to go, we need to take a shot down the field. We've only seen one, which was by Blauvelt, but I want to see Rowan throw one down the field.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much of Gavin Murphy in terms of, even when he doesn't get touches, he does a lot for this East Fairmont offense, going in motion, really captures the eyes of defenders, allows East Fairmont to pick up what the defense is doing coverage-wise. They love to throw that slant to Van Gilder off of some motion from Murphy. So we'll see if East Fairmont goes to that as Murphy fields his kick. He's trying to get to the edge, strung out here, and not going to be able to turn this one up as he's run out of bounds at his own 21-yard line. So East Fairmont will go to work now, trailing by 2 scores, 14-0, back-to-back big play touchdowns by the Polar Bears. Chris Wilson with a 41-yard touchdown run with 3:58 in the first quarter, and then right there, first play of the second quarter, Canfield to Brock Martin for a 61-yard touchdown strike.
All right, Brad, what we do here, we're going to keep it on the ground. We're going to start tossing the ball around the field a little bit. What are you thinking?
I think you want to try to spread the Polar Bears out. I certainly want to see a deep shot, at least to just see what you get. See if you can loosen up that underneath coverage a little bit. We see a little fake swing pass out to Murphy, trying to throw it back in underneath, but no separation there. And Kramer was more close to being intercepted than that ball being complete, as Fairmont Senior was all over that on the coverage.
Yeah, cannon dinger there for the breakup for the Bears. Rowan kind of just threw it right there to him. We got to start reading off these guys here. Quit going with your first look. Do a little pump fake, something of that nature. Try to draw them off, get some separation.
So 2nd and 10 now for the Bees. Fleming in the backfield with Kramer, as well as the H-back Biggie in his spot. Here's a nice run by Fleming, finishing it well. Takes a Fairmont Senior defender with him as he goes to the turf and gains about 5 yards.
Yeah, I like Adrian's run there. He was able to get the burst of speed, get up the field, and then lower that shoulder and get an extra couple yards. That's one thing I've seen from our running backs this year, Brad, is those extra 2-3 yards after contact.
Yeah, huge to be able to finish runs. And when you talk about finishing runs, that play by Adrian Fleming is a great example. And a penalty marker does fly here. We'll check on that. Looks like it will be on Fairmont Senior, so that'll give the Bees a first down.
All right, we'll take that. Hey, if you want to give us free yards, Brad, we'll take it. We'll take anything we can get right now, Brad. Now let's see how we execute off of it.
So it pushes East Fairmont out to its own 33-yard line. Kramer keeping this one, trying to get to the edge, and he's not going to, as that's Wilson, I believe, with the tackle for loss for the Polar Bears. And that's going to be a significant loss there, as Kramer's going to lose 6 yards on that first down play.
Should be 2nd and 15, right, Brad? Yes, 15. There we go. I was going to say 2nd and 6. Did I miss something there? But, all right.
So a loss of 6 on that play for Kramer. Ball's now on the 27-yard line. Kramer running to the far side of the field now on a keeper. Another flag flies, and Kramer's again taken down for maybe a loss of 1. Brock Martin on the stop for the Polar Bears. And we'll check on the penalty.
I think Biggie might have had a little bit of a jersey pull there.
Holding. Offense. Number 5.
Yep. Again, East Fairmont can be playing behind the chains, Brad. We've seen it a lot. Early in the season, we saw it a lot, especially against North Marion. We saw it there, and then we saw it again against Grafton. We played a lot behind the chains. That's something that Shane's been working on all this year. And against a team like this, we can do those kinds of things.
Yeah, you obviously have to be disciplined. I mean, some of the holding penalties, that stuff's going to happen. But the false starts, the offsides, those are just focus penalties, if you will. So hopefully we can avoid those. East Fairmont already called for 1 offsides defensively tonight. But you can't give away those 5-yard varieties. I mean, obviously the 10, the 15, those hurt. But it's at least in the nature of play. I mean, you're trying to hold off a defender so your teammate can maybe get outside on a run or whatever. But the false starts, the offsides, that's just completely free yardage given up at that point.
Absolutely.
So here's a 3rd and 26, low snap, and Kramer does pull it in, but he's going to get back to maybe the line of scrimmage, if that. And that drive went from getting some traction to suddenly hitting reverse real quick as the Bees will now punt it away from their own 18-yard line.
Yeah, Bigelow was able to blow that play up pretty quick. Had a little bit of help with some other guys I couldn't really get numbers on. But Bigelow, tell you what, other than Bridgeport, we might not have seen one of the other best linemen in the state. 6'4", 265. That kid's just powerful.
And a big hit there by Larry Nichols on the punt coverage. Thought Johnson was going to fair catch that, opts not to, and he takes a shot from Nichols but hangs on to the ball as Fairmont Senior will start this drive in East Fairmont territory.
Yeah, that was good coverage there by Larry, getting down the field and making a big play for the Bees special teams. When we've talked about special teams, don't get a lot of love, Brad. But our special teams been pretty solid.
Yeah, with what Carson Church can do kickoff-wise, that helps, obviously. Gavin Murphy's had some big returns, and our coverage team has been pretty solid overall as well, both on kickoffs and punts. So here's Canfield again, back to pass, looking for a play out to the far side, and that's reeled in by Johnson as he takes a hit. But another nice ball by Canfield. That's not an easy throw, throwing that out to the far side of the field, but got enough on it, put it on Johnson for a first down.
Yeah, again, we're seeing something here. Our kids haven't seen him this year, so they're not really familiar with what they're doing. But he's making the plays he needs to make to get the ball down the field.
So Canfield now 3 of 4 on the evening. Here's a handoff to Wilson. Flag comes in at the end of this one.
We're going to get a downfield hold on a receiver.
Certainly where it appeared came in on the near sideline right where Wilson was run out of bounds. So
we're clapping. They called on Dinger? Let's see if we get our replay up here by the great John Bowman here. See if he can get us a replay on that play.
And they do get Dinger on a hold there. So this is going to be second down, but actually still a net gain on the play for Fairmont Senior because of where the penalty occurred. So that's going to be a first and make it. Not sure what the chain gang is doing here, trying to move the sticks, but it's going to be a 1st and 5 situation, 1st and 4, because of where the hold occurred on the field. Here's a run by Canfield.
Rowan Kramer there on the tackle for the Bees. Good tackle by Rowan.
And Canfield picks up the first down as he gets about 15 on that run.
You watch here on our replay here, there was a big hole there that you could drive a tractor trailer through. He saw it quick and was able to get up the field and make the play.
You think he could have got through that hole, Brent?
I could. That hole is big enough for me to get through. Yes,
that's when you know when it's a big hole right there.
If I can get through, yes, that's a good hole.
And here's a pass looking for Dinger. Good coverage there. Dinger trying to go over the top, but Blauvelt all over that play for the Bees. Great coverage there by the senior.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Mason, you could put him on your star receiver. You could put him in other places. He makes plays. And we saw it against, I believe, Grafton, which you and I and John talked about there after the game. He locked down a couple of their good receivers there in the second half, which was able to help us get that win. So Blauvelt, man, playing both ways, getting the running, touching the ball, and getting some defensive This kid here has been unbelievable the last few weeks as well.
He's so good at making contact without getting called for holdings, infractions. I mean, he'll play physical and try to jam you at the line. He'll hand fight down the field, but rarely gets called for any penalties. Here's a tough run by Wilson as he's going to take this inside the 5-yard line. He's going to get down to, I believe, the 3, so a gain of 14 on that run by Wilson. And Fairmont Senior on the brink of going up 3 scores now. Polar Bears already leading this one 14-0 as we're about midway through this second quarter.
When you get a two-headed monster in the running back position, like Fairmont Senior's got, it's hard to figure out who's getting the ball, who's going to get it. But I'll tell you what, this Chris Wilson kid, he's only 5'8", 193. Got some good wheels on him, doesn't he, Brad?
Yeah, he for his size, he's really finished runs well tonight. Here's Camfield keeping it, and he's going to be near the plane.
Fumble?
Maybe a fumble on that play, but Fairmont Senior is going to retain it. So this is going to be a second goal at about the 1-yard line.
Hayden Blosser's checking in for the Bees. Looked like somebody got banged up on the play there. Not sure who. Yeah, that was a fumble there, but Fairmont Senior was able to jump on it. There was a couple Bees there, really to pounce on it, but Fairmont Senior was just a little too quick there.
So second goal from the 1. The handoff is to Wilson, and there's another fumble, and it looks like East Fairmont got on this one. They did indeed. A huge takeaway there for the Bees. I think that was Chase Hudson, the senior, falling on it. Not sure who knifed in there to make that initial hit, but great instincts there.
70, was this 22, Hayden Blosser.
So you just mentioned him checking into the game.
And Cole was there as well, but Blosser made the hit.
What a job there by the Bees, as they get a much-needed takeaway. Huge play there.
That's all right, Brad. Good stand by the Bees defense. You know, those are things that you got to do against good football teams, is create turnover, especially in the red zone. Our defense is able to do it. Now, what do we do with the football? That's the key, Brad. Now, what can East Fairmont do to take advantage of this situation?
Yeah, they don't do anything on that first play as Blauvelt is stopped for no gain, and East Fairmont backed up at its own 4-yard line. So you keep the Polar Bears off the scoreboard, but as you just mentioned, got to get this ball at least out from deep in your own end, or you're probably going to be looking at the same situation here momentarily. Here's Kramer with a nice run to give the Bees a little bit of breathing room as he picks up 6 yards. So 3rd and manageable now for East Fairmont. It'll be a 3rd and 5 officially as Kramer gets 5 on that second down run. So a big play here. If you're the Bees, you need to get at least 1 first down here to get this ball out past your own 10-yard line. Here's Kramer throwing, looking for Van Gelder, some hand fighting downfield.
He caught it.
And he caught it, but he's out of bounds. Thought we might see a flag there. Fairmont Senior defensive back never really turned around to try to locate the ball.
Cole's asking for why not.
He was hand fighting with Van Gelder all the way down the field. A great adjustment by Cole to make that reception, but it comes down out of bounds, and that's going to be incomplete. The Bees are going to have to punt.
I like the play call. I like us going down the field here. Here we got to get a replay here, Brad, on our end. Oh, why wasn't that called?
Yeah, I mean,
too handsy for me.
Typically, when you see contact like that and the defensive player never really makes any effort to locate the football,
it's pass interference.
Yeah, you'll see the flag thrown. Here's a good run back by Johnson. And we just talked about you prevent the Fairmont Senior score with the fumble at the 1, but Polar Bears right back near the end zone again as they're going to start this drive just outside the red zone at the East Fairmont 20. So they are going to be in the red zone, actually.
Yeah.
As they are maybe a yard inside the 20, if anything.
21-yard return. Sets Fairmont Senior back up where they were just a little bit ago.
And East Fairmont will call its second timeout of the game. We'll take a timeout with them. We'll be back here in 30 seconds on EFSN.
Did you ever wonder how things just happen? Like in this town, if you say tires, you think Gwin. Well, it just doesn't happen. Fairmont thinks Gwin Tire Service because for 85 years, Gwin Tire has been the fair, honest dealer when it comes to tires. Find out why Fairmont doesn't think tires without thinking Gwin Tire Service. See Gwin's for brakes, shocks, state inspections, and more. 2 locations serving you better. Fairmont Avenue and the brand new Whitehall location in the back of Middletown Commons.
In a world where technology never stops, you need an electrical partner that keeps pace. eSolutions provides high-quality electrical services for homes, businesses, and industries. Our experts design, install, and maintain systems that power your life. But what sets us apart? Our unique blend of electrical and system integration expertise. We create solutions that optimize performance, efficiency, and safety. And we're hiring. Join our team of innovators and help shape the future of electrical solutions. eSolutions, powering your progress. Keeping the bees on the air. eSolutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial electrical needs. eSolutions proudly supports East Fairmont Athletics. Let's go Bees!
Back here at East West Stadium, Fairmont Senior leading this one 14-0. Polar Bears on the door knocking again as they are at the East Fairmont 19-yard line. There's a handoff to Johnson on that first down play. He's going to get about a yard or 2. But Fairmont Senior just had the ball down to the East Fairmont 1-yard line. Great play by Blosser and Van Gilder. They force a fumble, and that's recovered by Hudson. But East Fairmont unable to gain a first down on its next offensive series. And the Polar Bears right back in scoring position here now as we are under 5 minutes to play in this opening half.
So, Brad, question for you. East goes down here, say three touchdowns or 17 points going into the half, and say things stay the way they are right now. What adjustments do you expect to see out of the Bees coming out in the second half?
So if you're East Fairmont offensively, obviously you got to find some traction. And I'm surprised we haven't seen a lot with Gavin Murphy coming in motion for the Bees. You wonder about his health. He's been battling a lot of injuries all season long, really. Haven't seen him as involved in the offense at times as maybe we expected. But even when he hasn't gotten touches this season, defenses are keying on him, and the East Fairmont coaching staff knows that. So they like to bring him in motion, run, hand it off to Blauvelt underneath of that. A lot of those slants that we talked about earlier, the success that they've had with Van Gilder, that's coming off Murphy motion that kind of takes away that underneath linebacker because they're so preoccupied with Gavin Murphy. That's when you can get those inside runs with Blauvelt or maybe those slants over the linebacker to Van Gilder. So I would hope to see maybe more of that, but again, that's dependent on the health of Gavin Murphy and just how much you're willing to use him in this game with the playoffs on the horizon here.
Yeah, because let's go back to the Weir game. Was that week 7? So 4 weeks ago, right? He had a really good game, and he got nicked up a little bit at Weir. And after that, he pretty much has been, I wouldn't say silent, but because he still made some plays, but we're still seeing him on the special team side of the ball. So I think we need to start getting him involved a little bit more somehow.
Yeah, we haven't seen an effort by the Bees to get him a touch tonight. We saw one play where they faked a swing pass out to him, tried to get a play over the top, but Fairmont Senior didn't bite on. Outside of that, it's been 2 returns on kickoffs for Murphy, and that's been it for Gavin. So there's a penalty on the Polar Bears pre-snap, so that's going to back them up even further. The Polar Bears now facing a 3rd and 17 at the East Fairmont 26. So you got to figure you probably have 2 plays to get 17 yards here if you're the Polar Bears. Have to imagine that they would go for this depending on what happens on this play. Here's Canfield back to pass, looking to throw deep. Now he's going to step up in the pocket, and now he's going to let it fly, and he overthrows his receiver. So
was he ahead of the line of scrimmage?
He was close. He was definitely close, right at the mark when he let that thing go.
Ooh. That shouldn't have happened. There should have been a flag on that play. He was past the down marker. Let's see our replay here one more time. No,
yeah, he was close. He was close. Right there at the spot. But it'll be a 4th and 17 for the Polar Bears now. East Fairmont trying to make a 2nd straight stand in their own territory. And here's Canfield dropping back, trying to buy some time. Now he's going to let it fly. He's got Martin over there. And this is going to be a Fairmont Senior touchdown, 26 yards from Canfield to Brock Martin, the 2nd time tonight. Those 2 have connected for a touchdown.
Yeah, Mason bit on the inside move, and then Brock was able to do that quick move, and they were able to scramble around there and get a touchdown throw.
Yeah, I mean, that's a backbreaker there. You have him in a 4th and 17 situation, trying to make a 2nd consecutive big stop if you're that East Fairmont defense, and you let Canfield extend the play, lose kind of containment and coverage, and he's able to find Martin for the 26-yard touchdown. So Fairmont Senior, after the PAT, takes a 21-0 lead over the Bees here. 3:51 to play in this opening half. We'll be back here shortly on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz. Stay with us.
The East Fairmont High Foundation is your school's nonprofit organization that provides student scholarships, teacher enhancements, and more. Founded in 1991, the foundation has raised over $1 million in support of students and teachers. Now, the foundation is supporting the East Fairmont Stadium Project. A new football stadium on campus will help all of Marion County by making the East attendance area attractive for growth. Visit East Fairmont Stadium Project on Facebook for information. This message is sponsored by McCutcheon Heating and Cooling. Attention all home buyers, are you ready to save big on your new home? The Middletown Homes Fall Clearance Event is happening now. With over 30 homes available at reduced prices, we have a home for every style and budget. Check it out at MiddletownHomesWV.com or visit us in Fairmont, Morgantown, Buchanan, or New Martinsville.
Built on service, built on trust.
Back here at East-West Stadium for the 104th all-time East-West game, and Fairmont Senior taking control of this one. Polar Bears leading 21-0, as Fairmont Senior just connected for its 3rd touchdown of the game, 2nd from Logan Canfield to Brock Martin, as the duo has a 61-yard touchdown pass, and then right there on 4th and 17 with a 26-yard touchdown connection. So East Fairmont with 3:44 to work with until the half. 1 timeout for the Bees as Kramer and the Bees offense takes the field. I've had trouble getting going so far tonight. 4 possessions, 4 punts for the Bees as they take over at their own 16-yard line.
Fumble by Kramer.
And Kramer bobbles that snap. And Kramer's able to fall on it, but that's going to be a loss, and that's where you can't get to against this Fairmont Senior team. That's a self-inflicted damage there, and now you're looking at a 2nd and 17 situation.
Yeah, not good for the Bees there, especially when you're back. We can't stay back here much longer, because if not, there's going to be another short punt, and then Fairmont Senior is able to take care of the short field.
Yeah, so 2nd and 17, you wonder if Fairmont Senior will start using any of its 2 remaining timeouts to preserve some time on the clock. B's going to throw this one, And Kramer looking for Murphy down the middle of the field. Murphy had maybe a step or two as Fairmont Senior tried to come over in coverage, and Kramer just overshot him. So a 3rd and 17 now, as East Fairmont is on the verge of quickly giving this ball back to the Polar Bears. Again, 2:55 to play until the half. Fairmont Senior 2 timeouts, East Fairmont 1.
Yep, so we got 2:55 left, Brad. 3rd and long now for the Bees, so
yeah, I mean, at this point, you got to think just try to get the first down. I mean, you're not worried about preserving clock at this point. Fairmont Senior is going to be able to stop it if they want to. So you're just trying to get some positive yards. Kramer's going to run for about 7 to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Fairmont Senior with a quick timeout, as East Fairmont will have to punt it away again. A 3 and out there for the Bees.
So they got 1 left. Anxious to see here what we're going to punt the ball, of course. Does Fairmont Senior take a little bit of time off the clock, or they just go in and try to punch it down the end zone one more time real quick before halftime?
Yeah,
or how quick do they do
Polar
it?
Bears going to be in good field position again. I mean, this could be the 3rd straight drive that they start in East Fairmont territory. Obviously, starting at the 48, they got all the way down to the 1 before they fumbled, and then East Fairmont unable to really get it out of their own end. Polar Bears started the next drive at the 19, and they were able to capitalize that time just moments ago on the 4th and 17 touchdown pass. So you're Fairmont Senior, you're just going to stick to your offense here. You're free to run it with Johnson, run it with Wilson. You still have plenty of time at 2:47, a timeout left, and you're probably going to have a short field. So whole playbook probably going to be open if you're the Polar Bears, at least early on this series when they do get it back. Johnson set up, and he's on East Fairmont's side of midfield as he sets to receive this punt.
Good punt.
This is a good punt. It's going to roll, take a bounce.
No.
And
he picked it up.
Tries to pick it up. And now the
did.
ball is still live. No one seemed
Martin
to
picked it up.
know it there. So Johnson started to field it, and then Martin came in and picked it up, and it was live. Nobody seemed to recognize that, but Fairmont Senior will have good starting field position again here, as they're going to start at the East Fairmont 42, 43-yard line officially. So 1 timeout for the Polar Bears, 2:33 on the clock. You wonder how aggressive they want to be. So far, with Canfield filling in for Brody Whitehair again tonight for Fairmont Senior. Whitehair out with an injury. Fairmont Seniors, they've kept a couple extra blockers in, haven't had a lot of options as far as the passing attack, but Canfield's made good use of his opportunities here tonight, has hit on some big plays. And there's a little flip to Dinger.
Buddha was all over that play. He didn't bite. He stayed at home, did what he had to do, and put a big hit on Dinger.
So Dinger picks up 3 on that play as the clock ticks down. Just over 2 minutes remaining now in this first half. And now this snap is blown dead. Here's a penalty marker, so probably going to be on the Polar Bears, I believe, here. And it's going to be a false start on Johnson, so that's going to make things tougher for Fairmont Senior here. The clock will roll now as the white hat winds it.
The white hat. Good job, Brad.
And the white hat.
The zebras.
White cap. Yeah, that's right. And here's Canfield dropping back, throwing this one underneath. There's Martin, no one near him. And he's going to catch this, able to run with it. Trying to get out of bounds now. He does to preserve some time.
Yeah, there was just no one within 5 yards of him, Brad. He's wide open. But when you put him in space, though, Brad, he has some good moves on him for being a bigger kid. Brad, we got a visitor by our boss in here now. Our boss is sitting behind us.
Yeah, athletic director James Beckman does a lot for the streaming here at East Fairmont Sports Network. He's the moneymaker, brings in all the dough, allows us to upgrade our equipment as well as the generosity by our sponsors. Does a lot here with East Fairmont Athletics, and certainly we've seen his impact on East Fairmont sports scene with where we are at the fall sports season. Obviously, 2 soccer teams playing for state titles tomorrow. Football on the verge of making history with a 3rd straight playoff appearance.
And he's going to be adding a little bit more to his plate starting Monday. The girls basketball team, Brad, you and John and Coach Beckman and Angela will be fired up to get back in the gym on Monday. First day of practice.
We'll see if we make it to the gym. I don't know if we'll get there on Monday.
We're not talking about a game, Brad. We're talking about practice.
Yeah.
And then a little less than a month from Monday, we start playing for real.
Yeah, it's coming up quickly. That's for sure. We're excited here. Obviously, girls program has had a lot of success. Here's a quick pass, and that's going to be a 3rd touchdown to Brock Martin in this opening half. Just a quick little bubble screen out there, and Brock Martin does the rest, 26 yards. So 3 touchdown passes now from Canfield to Martin in this first half as Fairmont Senior goes up 27-0 with the point after attempt pending here.
That was got quick work by the Polar Bears, Brad. Our defense starting to look tired, and that's something we haven't seen all year. But when you're playing a fast-paced, very aggressive football team, you're going to get worn down pretty quick, and we're starting to see it a little bit now. And I'm starting to see some heads down here. Our coach staff needs to get our kids get motivated here. We do get the ball to start the second half. So let's get to the locker room. We're going to be down, 28 points, but when you're a coach like that, Brad, because I know you coach sports, you're involved in basketball and stuff, and we've been down a little bit at halftime before too. So what's the speech you're giving now at halftime? In this situation, this type of game.
I mean, every play is an opportunity to get better. It doesn't matter if you're up by 28, down by 28. You take it one play at a time. There's always something that you can gain in a game like this. And sometimes it's just focusing on making one thing a point of emphasis. With basketball, it might be rebounding. Hey, don't worry about the score. Just go out and assert yourself on the glass. Try to clean up defensive rebounding or hit the offensive glass. If you're East Fairmont right now, you want to come out and really try to establish one thing in this second half. Maybe it's committing to the ground game to try to get some traction there. Maybe it's just, not giving up big plays. Don't let anyone get behind you. Work on sealing the edge if you're one of those edge defenders. Just something that you can focus on that hopefully you can positively do that, and then that starts to pick up in other areas of the game as well.
Right. When you're dealing with teenagers, you're dealing with kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old, and their kids are down on themselves. They know they're not playing to their potential, but tell you what, we're fighting, and that's the good thing. Our kids are going to continue to fight. We've seen it all year. We were down 40-something to Bridgeport, and our kids. That's what I like about this team. Those kids don't put their heads down. They keep fighting till the end, and that's something I like about this team. But I'm seeing a couple kids now putting their heads down. They're starting to get a little bit of frustration. Like you said, next play.
Yeah, and that's gotta be a mentality thing where you're playing for pride as well, and it's just you play sports long enough, you're gonna play in games where you're down a lot, where you're at a rough point in the season, rough point in a game for sure. You just got to keep playing. I mean, that's a testament to your character at that point. So here's a pass by Kramer out to Murphy, his first offensive touch of the night, and he gets about 6 yards on that play. Not a lot of urgency here, though, from the East Fairmont offense to get back to the line with now under 45 seconds to play.
Yeah, there's no need to cause, potential turnover or an injury at this point here. Just take your time, go down the half, take it to the locker room, and readjust.
So Kramer going to the air again.
There's
this pass is going to be incomplete, but they're is a penalty. So Van Gelder didn't get the PI call earlier, but looks like he will here to give East Fairmont a first down.
I like the call there, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, interesting to see what exactly East Fairmont's trying to accomplish. They're going to the air, but not a lot of urgency after that first down completion of Murphy to get back to the line of scrimmage. They still have one timeout to play with here, and you'd expect them to be more aggressive here now with that penalty moving them to midfield.
Do we try to get into the field goal range where Carson's comfortable and try to put some points on the board at least before the half?
I mean, you have to at least take one shot at the end zone. See, again, if maybe you get a pass interference call. Maybe Van Gelder makes a big play. And there's a shot down the sideline, but Van Gelder jammed up at the line of scrimmage, and Kramer overthrows him. But that's what you have to do. I mean, you're out to midfield now. You have 22 seconds now until halftime. You're down 28-0. You got to at least take a couple shots, test this Fairmont senior secondary. As long as you can hold up in pass protection where Kramer's not put in a situation where he's running for his life and might turn the ball over, you got to try to hit Van Gelder or Murphy for a big play here.
Absolutely. I'm surprised we haven't seen Biggie get any touches yet on the offense side of the ball, too, like we did last week.
And here's a handoff to Blauvelt. He's going to be dragged down from behind by Wilson. Picks up about 5, and now Coach Eckle will use his final timeout of the half with 15 seconds to play here in this second quarter.
All right, so, Brad, you're out of timeouts. You got 15 seconds left. Oh, sorry, 14.9 left. You're not going to be able to run the ball here to get position. So are you trying to throw it now to see if you can get a PI or
yeah,
a
I mean, you're not going to be
or,
able to throw the ball to the middle of the field at this point with no timeouts.
No, you have to work the sidelines.
Even with the clock stopping in high school momentarily, if it's a first down to move the chains, you're not going to be able to get up there and do anything with it fast enough. So you're looking probably designing a couple of out routes where you can maybe complete a 10-yard out to get a little closer, but then you also want to have deep options from that. So
absolutely,
you think you're going to be working the boundaries here, maybe try to get some deep routes down the seam to see if you can hit on a big play. But if you do opt to go for the end zone, you probably have two plays here if you want to take two shots at the end zone, or maybe you could try to get a little closer with a quick out or something. And here's a low snap. Kramer reels it in. Now he's taken off, and he's upended. Tried to hurdle a defender, got taken up in the air, and that's going to take us to the end of the half.
Yeah, that was Hunter Bigelow. All right, so East Fairmont's going to go in the half here, Brad.
Yeah, so Fairmont Senior leading the 104th all-time East-West game, 28-0 at halftime. We will be back here momentarily on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz to bring you the halftime show brought to you by Blue and Gold Graphics. Stay with us here on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz.
Ready to build your dream home in Cheat Lake? Take a look at Sunset Beach Crossing. Conveniently located close to golfing, boating, and other lakeside amenities, Sunset Beach Crossing is the perfect community for anyone who wants a quiet, leisurely lifestyle in Cheat Lake. Call Vision Homes at 304-296-0024 or visit AskVisionHomes.com to see how easy it is to build a house you're proud to call home.
Vision Homes, building a house you're proud to call home.
State University is a great place. It's a great place to learn. Not too big, not too small. Award-winning programs, professors who really care. Fairmont State University, a great place to soar. Learn more at fairmontstate.edu.
Contracting. North Central West Virginia's general contractor, focused on the areas of additions, finished carpentry, electrical, kitchen and bath, decks, garages, and more, serving Marion and the surrounding counties. To schedule an estimate, call Ron at 304-534-2473. Viking Contracting, a veteran-owned and operated business.
Back here at East West Stadium, we are at halftime here in the 104th all-time East-West game. Fairmont Senior dominating that first half. The Polar Bears leading the Bees 28-0 at the half. And now we will join the Busy Bee Band and the Honeybees for their halftime show. Enjoy here. Stay with us on EFSN for the band's performance here.
you have a yardage total for it? What do you got?
For future performance information, visit Pregame Honeybees on the web at piggybank.com. The Piggy Bank would also like to extend their appreciation to the City of Pleasant Valley and the Marion County Commission for their support.
Bradley, you ready to go live?
Yep. Wait. A spectacular halftime show there by the Busy Bee Band and the Honeybees, as always. Band director TJ Bean does such a great job with the East Fairmont Band. Obviously, they're a very notable organization here with East Fairmont. Here at halftime, Fairmont Senior leads East Fairmont in the 104th East-West game, 28-0. It was all Polar Bears in that first half, as Fairmont Senior had three touchdown passes from Logan Canfield, filling in tonight for the injured Brody Whitehair at quarterback for the Polar Bears. All three of those touchdown passes from Canfield going to Brock Martin. And Chris Wilson with a 41-yard touchdown run as well to cap the scoring for Fairmont Senior. Fairmont Senior dominating both sides of the ball in the first half, outgaining the Bees 334-44 in that first half. Fairmont Senior with 174 rush yards to East Fairmont's 27, and the Polar Bears with 160 passing yards to East Fairmont's 17. East Fairmont did collect the lone takeaway of the first half, that coming on a fumble recovery by senior Chase Hudson to take a Polar Bear touchdown off the board. So, Brent, we saw East Fairmont's offense have trouble getting going in that first half, just 44 yards to speak of, all punts in the first half. They had 6 possessions, 5 punts, and then half ran out there at the end. So if you're the East Fairmont offense, obviously you have to get something going in this second half. Where do you think maybe they can make some inroads against the Fairmont senior defense that really they have athleticism, speed, strength across the board? So it's going to be an uphill battle either way.
No, it is. I think we need to start looking underneath, maybe doing some throwing the ball to the backfield, getting maybe line up Lawvelt back there, maybe go with a 2-back set, swing them out there so we get some open space there. I think our line, they're getting pretty much beat up front pretty quick. Fairmont Senior's got a lot of speed up front, so it's going to be hard to pretty much do anything you want against Fairmont Senior. We started out running the ball well with them, then they started realizing what we were doing. When you're rowing up the middle or out to the sides a lot, they're cashing on that. So we got to come up with something a little tighter on that, I believe. I think we need to start doing some swing passes, getting Biggie involved maybe, put him in a tight end spot, do some tight end pops, things like that.
I'd like to see some misdirection or the play action like you talked about. Something that'll use maybe Fairmont Senior's aggressiveness defensively against them, where maybe you can catch them going one way and then throw it back another way, or play fake and then you hit maybe Biggie down the seam, as you mentioned. Something to kind of alleviate some of that pressure, because right now Fairmont Seniors is saying, hey, we take away Cole Van Gilder in the deep ball, we can play all downhill from there with this East Fairmont offense. For Fairmont Senior, meanwhile, where you've seen Logan Camfield filling in for the injured Brody Whitehair tonight, performed very well in that first half, as Camfield finished the first half 8 of 11 for 160 yards with 3 touchdowns. Also rushed 8 times for 38 yards as well. His favorite target on the night, Brock Martin. Martin with 4 receptions for 139 yards and 3 touchdowns in that first half. What really stood out, Brent, to you with Camfield's first half performance?
Like he's been the quarterback all year. He made the right reads. He made the right plays. He's everything he's thrown has been on the dime. He doesn't look rattled in the backfield. He's not doing anything wrong. He is controlling the game, doing the things that he's supposed to do as a quarterback. Very impressed. When you're filling the shoes of Brody Whitehair, it's hard sometimes. Like kind of like Rowan jumping in and taking over for Ian. But we were able to get pressure on him early in the game. We were able to get some hits on him. Their line tightened up a little bit. They saw what we were doing. We got away with blitzing. I think when we get him into his phase, we start throwing him off rhythm. He looked a little rattled there, but other than that, he's settled in very well. For the third-ranked Polar Bears.
Yeah, what I really liked from Fairmont Senior in that first half was how they kind of managed Camfield. You mentioned he took some early hits, was under pressure, and then they really started to keep some extra blockers in, kept the tight end tight to the line, kept some extra backs in there to give him protection, and then just, hey, our receivers are probably going to be able to win one-on-one matchups down the field, whether it's Brock Martin, whether it's Dinger. And when Camfield had time, he was able to put the ball in good spots.
Right.
And then also able to extend a couple plays. And at that point, if he's able to get outside the pocket and extend plays with his legs, eventually one of those guys are going to be coming open with how much speed and athleticism they have back there.
When he's running the ball with the quarterback keeps and stuff, the holes he's getting, they're not small holes. I mean, they're what you see in the NFL, big holes. Hell, there are times where I can run through them, but he's been very poised back here, and I'm very I'm very shocked by it because they haven't really showed him at the quarterback position all this year. I mean, he's only listed as a receiver and a DB. But when you have athletes as Fairmont Senior does, you can pretty much put these kids anywhere you need to, and they'll strive.
Yeah, you mentioned the performance by the Polar Bears offensive line. Obviously, they've been so fundamental for all of Fairmont Senior's ball carriers tonight. Right now, Damani Johnson leading Fairmont Senior with 76 rush yards, that coming on just 3 total carries. Chris Wilson with 60 yards on 6 carries, including a 41-yard touchdown run. And then Canfield, 38 yards on 8 carries so far for the Polar Bears. So tonight's halftime show brought to you, as always, by Blue and Gold Graphics in Morgantown. Blue and Gold Graphics is your one-stop for all of your local high school and middle school needs, from shirts to jackets to blankets to hats and more. Blue and Gold Graphics has you covered. So we're just over 3 minutes. Fairmont Senior Band performing now. Teams will come out and stretch. So we'll take a break here on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz. We'll come back with some scores from around the state as well as what to look for in this second half. Stay with us.
Finally got the kids showered and off to school. Husband's off to work. Time for a nice hot bath. Ah! Cold water!
Don't let a cold bath ruin your day. Tri-County Plumbing is here to help. Our expert technicians can install a new hot water heater so you can enjoy a warm and relaxing bath whenever you want. And our team is dedicated to providing fast and reliable service. We serve Mon, Marion, and Preston counties, and our team is dedicated to providing fast and reliable service. Don't wait any longer. Call Tri-County Plumbing today or online at tricounty-pc.com. Tri-County Plumbing, keeping your water hot and your day relaxing.
Qualifications, rules, and limitations apply. Rates, rewards, and restrictions may vary by account. Contact institution for details.
Tickets, popcorn, and sodas. That'll be $35. Cash or debit?
Debit! I mean, I'd like to use my debit card, please. Can I do it?
Okay.
All right! Swiping now!
What if paying with your debit card was always this exciting? Kasasa Cashback is a free checking account that pays you for everyday debit card purchases every month you qualify. Plus, with ATM withdrawal fee refunds nationwide, that's a lot of extra cash to spend on whatever you like.
And Gold Graphics in Morgantown, West Virginia is your one stop for all of your local high school and middle school needs. From shirts and jackets to hats and blankets and so much more, Blue and Gold Graphics has you covered.
Whether you're an on-field or backyard athlete, you know injuries can happen. And when they do, there's Elevate Physical Therapy in Whitehall. We specialize in sports medicine, orthopedics, post-surgical, and other forms of therapy. We help our patients reach their peak of health, wellness, and recovery. Patients are evaluated and treated by only licensed physical therapists. We're right next to Middletown Homes in Whitehall. Visit us at elevateptwv.com or call us at 304-534-8122. Elevate Physical Therapy. We'll get you back in the game.
MPB Print and Sign Superstore can put your brand on just about anything. Signs and car wraps to apparel and promotional items, plus much more. Shop online, visit our showroom, or schedule an in-person visit at your location today. Whether it's wrapping your vehicle or embroidering custom apparel, MPB makes it easy for you. Visit us at mpbonline.com. It's time to print, wrap, or stitch your next project with MPB Print and Sign Superstore.
At halftime here at East West Stadium, Fairmont Senior leading the Bees 28-0. All Polar Bears in that first half, as we are just moments away from the second half. But now let's take a moment to look around the rest of the state for some scores. Obviously, the playoff picture big tonight as postseason starts next week. So a lot of teams fighting for postseason berths or jockeying for seeding. Brent, what do you have for us from around the state?
All right, AAA Oak Hill, which is number 5. They're trailing the U 20-14 at halftime. That's a playoff implication on our side, on the AAA side with seeding. Let's go over to the AAA side. Bridgeport 56, AA Lincoln 13. Number 2, Princeton playing Quad A Park South. Princeton up 21-14. Number 3 and Single A Tucker 38, number 12, and AAA Hampshire 14. Herbert Hoover 42, Weir 7. Number 6, Nitro. First quarter, according to what I have here, 14-0 over Greenbrier East. The AAA game of the week, number 6, Wheeling Central Double A 48. AAA number 11, Shady Spring 11. AAA number 11, Shady Spring 7. So 48-7 with Wheeling Central there. Spring Valley number 7 in AAA 21-7 over St. Albans. I have nothing from North Marion Liberty Harrison yet. No score for Lewis County Grafton. Winfield leading number 16 Point Pleasant 14-7. So those are your scores on the AAA side. Quad A side, we have a good game here at halftime. Number 1, Martinsburg leading number 4 Hurricane. Tied at halftime, 17-17 with Hurricane. Wow. Number 2, Huntington 34-6 over Lindsley. Number 3 in Quad A, William Park 28. Quad A, AAA John Marshall 18. Number 5, Jefferson against number 7 Washington in Quad A 21-0. Like I said, University over AAA Oak Hill 20-14 at the half. Number 11 Woodrow 7 GW number 9-0. Spring Mills, who had some bad news delivered over the week, they had to forfeit some wins. Moved them down to number 10. They're leading number 15 Hedgesville. Hedgesville 15 in Quad A with a 2-7 record.
Someone's got to be 15 and 16 in Quad A.
Yeah,
so.
Parkersburg at 3-6 is the 16th seed right now. They're up over 13. Musselman 14-0 at the half. And number 14 Cabell Midland 14. They're 4-5, leading AAA Riverside 1-8, 14-0. Let's go over to the Double A side. Frankfort, Bradley Heltzel's alma mater, 21 over AAA Kaiser 0.
Winning the Mineral Bowl. Let's go, baby. Go Falcons.
Here you go. Here's some help possibly for the Bees. Number 2 Roan in Double A, 36. Number 10 Ripley, AAA 0. Our playoff competitor from 2 years ago, Scott, number 8, leading over number 3 Williamson, 3-0 at halftime. That could help too on the Double A side of the game. Number 4 Independence, 36, Summers County 0. Philip Barber, number 5, leading AAA Preston 21-14. Number 13 James Monroe 28, Bluefield. Number 7 Bluefield 20. That's a final. Single A Sherman, number 8, 22. Number 14 Polka 0. Number 10 Wayne, 45-21 over Sissonville. That game's in the second quarter as well. Nothing between Clay and Braxton County. So there's some scores throughout the area. Brad, so the AAA side, right now, Hampshire, who's below us, they're down big to Tucker County. Herbert Hoover, who we could see again possibly, up 42-7 over Weir. So there's still a lot of football left to be played here.
Yeah, so you look at the AAA rankings entering tonight. Ripley at number 10, 7-2. Shady Spring 11, also at 7-2. The two teams right behind us, looks like both of them are going to fall tonight to go to 7-3. So obviously that should help our case. Hampshire right there at 12, also down right now, as you talked about. Then you had Elkins at number 13, 5-5. Robert C. Bird 4-6 at number 14. Lewis County, who we defeated last week, at 15 at 4-5, and then Point Pleasant 3-5. So that Lewis County that Lewis County game's going to be big, and obviously North Marion Liberty, the Mountaineers fighting for their postseason lives.
Right.
And could be the last football game in Liberty history tonight, as Mountaineers school is closing following this year. So A.J. Harmon trying to get one more game with a upset of the Huskies, and then Lewis County in the Big Ten fighting for their postseason lives tonight, likely, as the Minutemen entered tonight at number 15 in the rankings.
I just got a text here, Brad. My employer, Rogers and Mazes, there's one of the bosses that are listening to us, telling me you're doing a great job. They want me to pass that along. Hey, you're doing a great job calling the game night. So my boss is
Are they going to send me some pepperoni rolls?
We could possibly get you some pepperoni. We might need some rolls for next week's trip down wherever we're going, if it's either north, south, east, or west. But I'll make sure that we have the bosses hook you up with some food next week, Brad, for our travels.
Well, you probably end up eating it all, Brent. So.
Listen, I eat them all the time, and I was told the other day I had to watch the profit margin, so I'm on suspension right now of eating the free rolls.
You're going to single-handedly take them into the red.
Yes, that's not good for the old paycheck next week, is it, bud?
So we're underway here in the second half. East Fairmont starting with the ball. Kramer, a 0-yard run on first down. Now picks up 5 on second down to bring up an early third down here for the Bees. Again, Fairmont Senior leading this one 28-0 entering the break. And East Fairmont trying to get some of that back here with their first possession of the second half. So 3rd and 5, Kramer in the gun. He's going to hand this one off. And I believe that was Fleming. Going to be taken down well short. So that's going to bring up a 4th and 4. No gain on that play for Fleming. Decision time now for Coach Eckle.
You got to go for it here, Brad. This late in the game, points matter now. So we need to go for it. I think this is a decision that Shane's making here, that we need to go for it here and make a statement here, come out in the second half.
Yeah, probably already planning on going for it before that play. That's why you saw the 3rd down run, try to get a shorter 4th down. Here's the handoff to Biggie, and he's going to be dumped for a loss on that play. So East Fairmont's going to turn it over on downs here on their first drive of the second half.
Fairmont Senior read that one right out of the spot, didn't they, Brad? They knew it was coming, but Biggie got his first touch on offense. Not the way I thought he was going to get the touch, but East Fairmont's showing a little bit of a different hand here starting the third quarter.
Yeah, so Fairmont Senior will be set up with good field position again. This will be their 4th straight drive that has started in East Fairmont territory. This one kicking off at the Bees' 42-yard line.
But the good thing is we're not in the red zone right yet.
Not yet. Canfield handing off to Johnson. Johnson with a quick cut to get to the outside. He picks up a gain of about 4 on that first down run for the Polar Bears.
So, Coach Heltzel, question for you. You ready?
I'm listening.
Fairmont Senior is ranked 3rd in the state in AAA. Hosting a playoff game next week.
Mm-hmm.
You're up 28.
Yep.
As a coach, I know you coach a different sport, but how long do you leave your starters in?
I'd say, depending on how you want to get it to 35. That's going to get you to a running clock situation entering the 4th quarter. So you're probably figuring at least you get this to 35-0. I think at this point, really your goal, more than the score, is just to probably shorten this game, call more runs, keep it on the ground, try to bleed this clock a little bit. And so far we've seen that 2 straight runs. So really it's about just possessing the ball, taking your time, getting up to the line of scrimmage, and shortening this game so you can get out of here, hopefully fully healthy for the playoffs next week.
And same thing for East Fairmont too?
Yeah, I mean, if you're East Fairmont, obviously, you're still playing a game here. You have you're only down 4 scores, so you have an opportunity to get back into this thing potentially, but you also don't want to get anybody hurt because you have your own playoff game next week as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're going with kind of your normal offense here on these first 2 drives, maybe see if you can get something going, and then at that point you start to maybe look ahead to the postseason and managing the clock in terms of your play calling and everything.
Well, while we were talking about that, Canfield's pass was incomplete to Dinger, but that's probably for the first pass he's actually missed on badly. I mean, that was a throw that he probably wants back.
Yeah, 8 of 11 in that first half for Canfield.
Mm-hmm.
First attempt of the second half falls incomplete. But East Fairmont making this fourth down easier for the Polar Bears as they're hit with a encroachment penalty. So that'll take a 4th and long to a manageable 4th and 4 here.
How many penalties we have tonight, Brad?
East Fairmont has just 3 penalties on the night. Here's a pass by Canfield. There's Dinger, and Dinger's going to get a block downfield, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. So 36 yards from Canfield to Dinger, as Fairmont Senior is a PAT away from going up 35-0 in this one.
Wow. We talked before, Brad, about the speed that we've seen on the season. And Bridgeport's probably one of the best teams we played in the state. But I'm going to put Fairmont Senior up there with them. We know the results from last week's game didn't show on the scoreboard, but those are probably the 2 best teams that we've seen this year, Brad. I mean, Fairmont Senior can score at any time. The speed they have is unbelievable.
Yeah, and you mentioned Bridgeport and Fairmont Senior. Obviously, a lot of collective speed, but it's how those 2 teams use that speed differently. Obviously, Fairmont Senior, you want to spread it out more, get those athletes into space. With Bridgeport, it's all about their run game. It always has been, and they're always so disciplined with their blocking, with how they do that stuff. But now you have the collective team speed to really make the most out of that disciplined blocking that we see year in and year out.
No, you're right. You're right. But I still think Bridgeport's probably the best team in AAA right now.
I mean, they proved that last week.
They proved it last week against Fairmont Senior. Fairmont Senior's coming off one of their probably worst losses they've had in a couple years. But they've got talent too, just as well. So I'm sure if things go right, and I'm a betting man, you're going to see these guys again in the playoffs later on down the line. Unless East Fairmont can play spoilers somewhere next week or the week after in the playoffs to make a run, which I think we're capable of doing. We're capable of making runs. But the East-West game, you know about rivalries in sports. The games are different when rivalries are happening. When you're playing other teams, you do things different. When you're talking rivalry football, East-West, East-North, Northwest, Morgantown University, whoever you're talking about, the game changes. And East Fairmont's just a player or 2 away from making that next jump up to make this series again.
Yeah, obviously not what you wanted tonight if you're East Fairmont in terms of 35-0 deficit. You were hoping to keep this more competitive for longer into this game. But, Coach Eckle and this staff has been here before with these kids where you always play this East-West game, your final week of the season. East Fairmont the past 2 seasons before this have had this game and then gone right in the postseason. So you don't want this to dampen your spirits or really kill your confidence heading into the playoffs. It's a tough situation for Coach Eckle and this staff to be in, where you have to go from, taking a drubbing, if you will, at the hands of Fairmont Senior, and then immediately getting ready for a postseason game the following week. And so you just have to keep that in their perspective if you're East Fairmont for this second half here.
What is going on next door to us here, Brad?
I don't want to find out. I just hope we don't catch the wind of what seems to be happening over there.
John's swinging his arm like he's getting attacked by bees over here. Oh,
that's what I was saying. I don't want to catch the wind.
We have a lot of fun, Brad, this season. I mean, it's been fun. I know I haven't done a lot of games with you this year because I do the PA for their home games and stuff, but it's always fun to be back in the booth with you, and it's been a fun year for us.
Yeah, it's definitely entertaining. I mean, you love our
car rides,
our behind-the-scenes crew here. Obviously, we talked about Athletic Director James Beckman and how much he does to make this broadcast into what it's been. Our producer, John Bowman, I mean, we couldn't do it without him. If it wasn't for John, we'd be sitting here with all this nice equipment and have no idea how to run it. We'd just be staring at it, hoping something happens.
And we're pretty smart guys, but there's a lot of cables here and a lot of wires and stuff here that I have no idea what it goes to, but I can set up a TV in my house. That's about it. But this other stuff that we do, and the support of our administration, to get us where we're at now. And I do owe a lot to our athletic director, Mr. James Beckman, who manages AD, teaching, dad, husband, basketball coach. He gets us our equipment to every game every week. And thank you to him and to all of our sponsors who've made this season what it is, for us to buy the new equipment, Elevate Physical Therapy jumping in, Viking Contracting, Blue and Gold Graphics, J&J Drywall, the list goes on and on. If it wasn't for those folks in the community who are getting behind East Fairmont Athletics, we wouldn't be able to do the things we do. Yeah, it's definitely a collective effort. I mean, those sponsorship dollars, they go a long way to just showing how much they care about East Fairmont, the East Fairmont community, the student athletes, and what we're able to do with those sponsorship dollars. That's really our way of giving back and showing how much we appreciate the assistance from the community to be able to do things like we're doing here tonight. Right. And you can always contact the school and ask for Mr. Beckman. Give out his personal cell phone here on the air, Brent. Yeah, we'll give his cell phone number out to Mr. Beckman. You can call him day or night, 24/7, 365. But any help's necessary. It doesn't have to be monetary. It could be, whatever it may be, new help. Well, one of the big things is getting more students from East Fairmont involved in our broadcast. We have some great students who help us out currently. Braden Tomlin has been with us from the beginning here at EFSN. He does a lot of great work for us. We got a new guy this year, V's the man. He's been helping us out a lot, does great camera work for us. So any students who are interested in contributing to this broadcast in any way, be it some on-camera stuff, behind-the-scenes work, commentating, we're open to having them, showing them the ropes so they can keep this production going. And we're going to need them during basketball season because a lot of us are going to have other responsibilities when basketball season rolls around. Yeah, because once football's over, I'll be more football now, but starting here in December, I'm announcing boys and girls basketball at the Hive. So some big things coming up here starting in the next month. Maybe we'll see if John can produce EFSN and subs and work the substitution patterns at the same time this year on the girls basketball front. I would give him a raise in salary if he could pull that one off, because that'd be something special to watch. And here's a handoff to Wilson after the Bees turn it over on downs. Wilson is going to go all the way to pay dirt. That's going to be a 52-yard touchdown run for Chris Wilson, his second of the night, as Fairmont Senior continues to pour it on here at East West Stadium. Polar Bears now leading this one 41-0 with the extra point pending. I'll tell you what, Chris Wilson has some wheels on him, doesn't he, Brad? He moves well, and he's able to get on that outside edge and take care of things. Oh, here we got a basketball player joining us here in the booth, Brad. Logan Beckman has graced us with his presence here in the booth, Brad. Getting ready for his season to start here in another week after ours. So we're getting all kinds of visitors here to see us this evening, Brad. Yeah, LB in the booth. We have, obviously, former alumnus Tara Myers doing our field reporting. We had Kylie Fridley, another former member of the East Fairmont girls basketball team. She stopped by earlier up here in the booth. So always good to have former students coming back, current students checking into what we're doing up here. That makes it great for sure. Yeah, it's always great when we have our alumni back here at East Fairmont, and it's always nice to see those folks around, especially during East-West Week. So the point after attempt is good there, and Fairmont Senior has really opened this one up now. The Polar Bears leading this one 42-0 with 5:21 to play in the third period. We'll be back shortly here on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz.
In a world where technology never stops, you need an electrical partner that keeps pace. eSolutions provides high-quality electrical services for homes, businesses, and industries. Our experts design, install, and maintain systems that power your life. But what sets us apart? Our unique blend of electrical and system integration expertise. We create solutions that optimize performance, efficiency, and safety. And we're hiring. Join our team of innovators and help shape the future of electrical solutions. eSolutions, powering your progress. Keeping the bees on the air. eSolutions for all your residential, commercial, and industrial electrical needs. eSolutions proudly supports East Fairmont Athletics. Let's go Bees!
When someone has a concussion, whether a child or a professional athlete, time is everything. Each patient at the WVU Rockefeller Neuroscience Institute's Concussion and Brain Injury Center follows a treatment plan tailored to their individual needs. Our concussion specialists quickly identify the signs and symptoms of concussion and direct patients to the best path for recovery. Visit wvumedicine.org/concussion or call 855-WVU-CARE.
Back here at East West Stadium, where Fairmont Senior has just extended their lead to 42-0 following a 52-yard touchdown run by Wilson, his second touchdown run of the night. Also scored the opening points of the game on a 41-yard run, so a couple of big plays from Wilson so far tonight for the Polar Bears, who we should mention have played this game again without starting quarterback Brody Whitehair, the senior, out tonight due to an injury suffered last week. Should be good to go next week when the Polar Bears start postseason play, but Fairmont Senior and Coach Nick Bardick playing it safe tonight with their signal caller. And Logan Canfield has filled in very well in his stead already. 4 touchdown passes tonight, for Canfield, filling in for the injured Whitehair. And East Fairmont back on offense now. Bees scoreless on the night, had just 44 yards of total offense in that first half. And we saw their first drive of the second half. They turned it over on downs. So now just trying to get something on the scoreboard here, keep this respectable. What's been a tough night so far for this East Fairmont offense.
It was Fleming on the carry. He started off carrying the ball very well there, but the linebacking core of Fairmont Senior wasn't having it on that play.
So East Fairmont coming into tonight at number 9 in the Class AAA SSAC playoff ratings. We'll see where they finish following tonight's result, but the Bees will be in the postseason. It's just a matter of where they slot in and where they'll have to presumably go in the first round, but we'll see where things fall when those SSAC playoff matchups come out.
Later tonight.
Yep, later tonight.
So know
They'll be
tonight
ready to
what's
go.
going on here.
So keep your eye open for that, certainly. And a big day for East Fairmont Athletics tomorrow as well. Both the boys and girls soccer teams playing in the state soccer championship down in Beckley. The girls will play the early morning game at 9:30 as they'll play Charleston Catholic, a rematch from prior this season. Charleston Catholic handing the Lady Bees their only loss at this point in the season, winning 4-2 way back early on in the season. So that'll be a rematch, an exciting contest there. And then the boys will also be playing Charleston Catholic for the state championship tomorrow. They'll follow the girls' game at 11:30 or so. And also cheer regionals are tomorrow. The Bees will be competing up at Brook High School as they get ready for their first regional contest in the new cheer alignment. So a big day for East Fairmont Athletics tomorrow for sure.
Yep. Good luck to our Coach Wright and the Lady Bees soccer team, and to Ian Hayhurst on his bid to bring home a state championship for the boys soccer team. This is the first time the girls soccer team's ever been to the state tournament in soccer, so it's big for the school and the program. I was able to attend my first ever high school soccer game last week for the regionals, and it was actually kind of fun to watch.
Hey, you did some field reporting for us.
I did.
Brent, that was good stuff. I was wanting to get some analysis, and here's Dom Fantasia on the carry And the former East Fairmont Bee is going to be in the end zone for a 35-yard touchdown run. So Dom Fantasia transferring to West over the summer and getting a little bit of revenge on his former team here as he runs it in for a 35-yard touchdown.
And I just got a note here across the table here. The boys' trip to the state tournament was 2016, where they won it then too. So the boys could bring home their state second state soccer championship, and our girls could bring home their first one.
You know who was covering that state championship on the sidelines down there in Beckley, Brent?
Mr. Bradley Heltzel.
Yours truly. I was there for that one as the Bees won the state championship in 2016 under Coach Mark Harbath. That was a good Bees team. That defense was elite for the Bees. Andrew Slusser back there as the center back for the Bees, had Michael Gaskell as the goalkeeper.
What, Ian Hayhurst on that team was he on the other one they were down there on?
I think he was down. I think he played in he graduated in 2014. Okay. Yeah, so just he played with some of those guys who won it on the 2016 team, but.
And he also played college soccer at Bethany, I believe. So good luck to him tomorrow as well. Big things going on at East Fairmont High School lately. Coach Beckman took the girls back to the state tournament, basketball back in March. Golf made an appearance in the state tournament. We had a couple guys make some runs in golf.
Yeah, Trace Tucker representing us at the state tournament for golf. Cross country with a nice showing. The girls, I'm not sure where they placed, but a good showing down there. And then Nate Stuck representing the boys as well.
So there's been some good things going on up at the Hive.
Not much going right for the Bees tonight here, however, as Fairmont Senior now leads 48-0. And that point after attempt was blocked, so 48-0 game here in the 104th all-time meeting between these two programs, separated by the river.
Just the closest away game we have had all year.
Yeah, my wife asked, are we home or away tonight? I said both. So
for both.
I mean, we're playing at our home stadium here at East West, but serving as the road team with the two programs sharing East West Stadium. And Fairmont Senior will be back here next week as they will certainly host a playoff game. We'll see where they end up in the final playoff matchups following tonight's games. East Fairmont likely to go on the road for their playoff matchup next week. We'll see where ultimately the Bees will play, but in spite of tonight's result, it will be a historic season for East Fairmont as the Bees will head to the postseason for a third straight season, the first time that's ever been done in program history. So congratulations to Coach Shane Eckle and the Bees for that accomplishment, as Coach Eckle certainly brought the East Fairmont program a long way in a fairly short tenure so far back here at East Fairmont.
Yeah, he's been, sixth year, 3 playoff appearances in a row. But now he's got to take that next step. And
yeah, obviously the next jump is to win
a
playoff game. So far 0-2. Hosted a playoff game last year. I know that was a big goal for the Bees last season. Obviously had a lot of talent go out the door with graduations. A couple of guys transferred as well. So that hurt East Fairmont's ultimate goals for this season, but the Bees get back to the postseason nonetheless, and we'll see if they can maybe come up with an upset next week to get that marquee postseason victory that the Bees are still seeking under Coach Eckle in his 6th year, as you mentioned.
It's been a quick 6 years, hasn't it, Brad?
Yeah, every time I see that this is his 6th year, I'm like, whew, that seems fast. And the East Fairmont starters on offense still in here. That pass complete to Chase Hudson for a gain of about 10 on that play. So obviously, really the only point of interest left in this one is how long the starters will remain in. Fairmont Senior already bringing in their second unit defense here, but East Fairmont keeping that first team offense out on the field to this point.
Hudson slipped there on the play there at the 45, but he was still able to get his footing back up and almost caught the ball. So now we have the running clock in effect now for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, so 4th down now for the Bees. East Fairmont 2 possessions so far in this second half, 2 turnovers on downs. And they'll try to avoid number 3 here. We'll see. It doesn't look like they're even going to try to snap this before the quarter runs out. So the two teams will flip sides of the field here and head to the 4th. Fairmont Senior leading this one 48-0. We'll be back momentarily here on EFSN and 98.3 The Buzz.
The Bailey Agency has sponsored East Fairmont Athletics for over 50 years. Just another reason why your neighbors are insured with us.
Or somebody that you know have a business that would benefit by being seen by thousands of people every single week? Want to support East Fairmont Athletics? Then consider sponsoring the East Fairmont Athletics live streams. For more information, contact Athletic Director James Beckman at jbeckman@k12.wv.us.
Here's a 4th down play for the Bees. Kramer collects the snap, throws this one away out of bounds. That's going to be another turnover on downs to start the 4th quarter here.
Brad, what the heck is going on up here this evening?
It's 48-0. I mean, it's starting to get punchy up here at this point.
Yeah.
Well, just the goal here is to just make sure we stay on the air for next week and
yes.
The Bees playoffs. I mean, we need to make sure we at least do that here for this 4th quarter as we'll try to.
And get our boys out of here healthy as well.
Yeah. We'll try to entertain the viewers and the listeners as much as we can here.
And thank you to all you guys.
Yeah,
you guys
absolutely.
have been fantastic all season, jumping in and checking us out if it's a Thursday night or a Friday night game. We thank all of our listeners and our viewers for all your support of East Fairmont Athletics this year.
Yeah, and be sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you are still viewing this game on EFSN. That helps everything we do with the East Fairmont Sports Network and our YouTube broadcast. So be sure to do that. It'll give you notifications as well when we're doing broadcasts. Certainly as we move into the winter sports season here soon, we hope to continue with somewhat regular broadcasts here for boys basketball, girls basketball, and maybe even a wrestling match here and there.
Did you say wrestling?
Wrestling. Yeah, we got head coach Mason Bailey taking over his first year back with his alma mater. Obviously, an illustrious career with him as a wrestler, wrestling at the Naval Academy, going to the NCAA tournament back in his wrestling days now. Comes back to the sport as the head coach of the Bees after being a volunteer assistant here previously. So we'll see what he can do. Boys basketball also going to be under a new man this season with Carter DeVault taking over for a longtime head coach Tyrone Astorino. And, of course, James Beckman will be back for girls basketball on the sidelines as well. Back for his what year is this going to be for you, Beck? 11, 12? 12, year 12 for head coach James Beckman on the girls' side of things.
Yeah, it's hard to believe the winter sports, man, is already here. We feel like we just started football not too long ago, and this is the best time. We always say this is one of the best times of the year, is football season. So, and another thing here we got coming up, we would like our viewers to jump in on or come up to the school on Thursday, December 5th at the Hive from the hours of 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. We'll be having our version of Midnight Madness. We'll be introducing our JV girls team, our varsity girls team, our middle school girls team, our JV boys team, our varsity boys, our middle school boys, and cheerleading. We'll have the band, games, prizes, some food. Again, that's Thursday, December 5th at the EFHS gym from 6 to 10. You can check it out on the live stream or come up to the Hive, enjoy a little our version of the Midnight Madness. We're going to have the middle school varsity band. All that stuff's going to be there. So come up and enjoy an evening of fun on a Thursday night. And the next night, the Lady Bees head down to go start their season. So,
all right, Midnight Madness. I got a proposal. So it says we're going to be live streaming this on EFSN. If we get to a certain number of viewers, John Bowman, can we get a dunk attempt at Midnight Madness, you think? Yeah. From you. Oh, okay, not an attempt. He's going to be throwing that down. Okay, so how many viewers do we have to get to for you to 100 viewers, and we'll see a dunk attempt from John Bowman on Midnight Madness. And then we'll probably see him walking around with a limp for a couple weeks after that. So,
is there something we could get Coach Beckman to do if we get 200 viewers?
Set a screen, maybe. He could probably do that.
Can he give John the alley-oop? I mean, Beck is a Duke fan. I mean, he probably could throw up an alley-oop. I think he's got a little skill left in him, Brad.
Yeah, he's
Coach.
Maybe got some. How about a one-on-one game with Logan? we get that going on the broadcast. One-on family affair. Logan Beckman versus Dad James Beckman. Huh? What? we're keeping the viewers here on EFSN. 9:07 to play. Second teamers in for Fairmont Senior now on offense. East Fairmont still with some starters in defensively. Polar Bears leading this one 48-0. Not sure. Number 16 in at quarterback for Fairmont Senior. That is Dominique Trotta, freshman, 5'7", 135. So the freshman getting some snaps here for the Polar Bears.
15 yards closer to his brother's record.
Oh, say it.
I'm just letting you know that.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Brent.
Yes, we got a freshman at quarterback now for Fairmont Senior. They're content with their 48-0 lead, so they got their starters out. Let's talk a little bit, Brad. Some of the highlights that you've seen from the East Fairmont football team this year. What were some of the things in these 9 games that we played? We didn't play a traditional 10-game schedule. We had 9. So what was your takes from this football team after seeing our schedule when it was released, coming into another season of replacing all those guys that we had? What was your take on this year's football team?
Well, I think the big thing coming into this season was how things would change with Rowan Kramer in as the new starting cornerback, the sophomore, taking over for Ian Crookshanks, who broke about every passing record he could have in his time here at East Fairmont. And I think we've seen a progression from this offense week to week where early on it was a lot of relying on Rowan's athleticism to extend plays and find guys downfield. I feel like the more that he's gotten comfortable with this offense, we've seen him be able to play within the structure of the offense more in the passing game and then mixing him in more in the run game. Those first couple weeks of the season, we didn't really see a lot of design runs for him, but I feel like this offense has really found its stride here during this 3-game win streak entering tonight. And that's really what stood out, is how this offense has progressed week to week, and mostly the connection between Kramer and senior Cole Van Gelder. I mean, Cole's had an excellent season so far to this point. We saw that most notably last week with 3 touchdowns, hit on a lot of big plays. And really that emergence with that connection has helped make up for some of maybe what we thought we would have with some of these other receivers. Obviously, Gavin Murphy, we mentioned, he hasn't been healthy for the latter half of this season, and defenses devote so many resources to keeping the ball out of his hands week to week. And then we've seen Tristan Boone get injured this season, River McLean as well. So really it's been the emergence of Van Gelder and making the most out of his senior season that stood out to me with this East Fairmont football team at this point in the year.
Yeah, I was impressed with some of the younger guys stepping up. Owen Music, for one, stepped up, made some plays.
Jackson Heskett has had a great freshman season on the defensive end for East Fairmont. I remember early on in the season, Coach Eckle kind of mentioned his name after, I believe, the first or second game of the year, and it was like, okay, cool, we'll see what he does. And he's really come on. I mean, it's been week to week. You've been saying his name with a big play here and there. So he's really had an outstanding freshman year for the Bees.
Absolutely. Mason Blauvelt, never thought we'd see him at running back this year. That was kind of a surprise after losing, a transfer. One of our running backs out as a transfer to the Fairmont Senior Polar Bears. But it was nice to have him in the backfield, too. We saw a little bit of Anthony Corwin. I thought Anthony Corwin had a tremendous season. He made some big plays on defense against Liberty that kept us in the game when we needed him to. Kept them from taking a lead there. River McLean, when River got some action, he made some big plays for us too. So I was very impressed with some of our younger gentlemen we had on this team this year that stepped up and played when they needed to.
And there's an interception by Fairmont senior freshman Grayson Dinger as he picks off the pass there to set up the Polar Bears on East Fairmont's end. But, yeah, you mentioned the younger players, and then certainly some of the veteran guys. We talked about Blauvelt, Hayden Biggie, Camden Bonner, Larry Nichols, Buda Crookshanks, Ryder Fellows. I mean, those more experienced players have really come on, I feel like, as the seasons progress as well, where they're making the plays that we were, used to seeing from them week to week, and they've really kind of led the charge for this group during this win streak following that bye week that allowed East Fairmont to really turn around its season, and now they're going to be in the postseason again come next week.
Yeah, other than Buda, they lose Buda, they lose Bonner, but you got like Cooper Helm coming up, Owen Mayer. Let's see who else. Larry's back, Maddox Swisher's back, Fellows is back, so they got a little bit of the line back. You're losing Bonner and Buda, but there's some other guys have stepped up and played with those guys. Some of those guys being knocked down and injured. We got our, Carson's back, our kicker's back. We got Caden Barr coming back, McLean. Tristan Boone getting hurt up at Weir. He was making some big things happen, and then he got hurt there up at Weir. Which hurts for him. We got some other guys here ready to step up and see what the Bees can do next year as well and moving forward along the way.
Yeah, obviously, before we look ahead to next season, East Fairmont will be in the postseason next week. It remains, and here's an interception by Caden Barr. He has a chance to take this one back. He's run down, but reading that screen pass, so Caden Barr making the most of his opportunity. The sophomore comes up with a big interception there.
I like Caden Barr. He's got some explosive speed. He's a sophomore. I'm not sure how tall. They don't have this height lift on him. He's 165 pounds, Brad.
And he is a beast in the weight room.
Yeah, I've seen him lift.
You look at his weight room numbers up there on the board. They are impressive, to say the least.
Yeah. And, I'm not sure what his height. What'd you say, Brad? 5'11"?
He's
5'8", 5'9",
yeah,
5'10" maybe. But the kid's a beast.
So just trying to find some scores to maybe get a better view of this playoff picture here.
You got her there, sir? Or you pull it up?
I got a couple. Some of them are loading again. Really no updates from that Lewis County Grafton game, which is obviously big with the Minutemen sitting at number 15 in the rankings. And then right now our first-round opponent entering tonight would be North Marion just up the road in Rachel. So no score updates from that game either, with the Huskies hosting Liberty Harrison of Class AA tonight. So difficult to see where North Marion will fall in the final playoff ratings. Point Pleasant currently at number 16 in Class AAA. They're in a 20-20 game with Winfield. That game in the third quarter, so one to keep an eye on there. But we mentioned Shady Spring just behind East Fairmont in the ratings at number 11. They fell tonight to Wheeling Central, number 6 in Class AA, 48-7.
What about Bridgeport?
Yeah, Bridgeport,
70
they're
to
up to
13.
70 right now on Lincoln, so another big week for them.
Princeton, 28, Park South, 27. Park South being Quad A. I'm trying to pull up Facebook here, Brad, see if I can get any scores from anyone here has anything posted.
Yeah, Oak Hill, number 5 in Class AAA. They're currently in a battle with Quad A University. Oak Hill currently leading that one 22-20 in the fourth quarter, so that's big for their postseason seeding for sure.
I got a score, Brad. An hour ago, this was posted on Facebook, so anything can change within an hour. North Marion 21, the Liberty Mountaineers 7. That was within an hour ago. I saw a post here on Facebook. I'm still trying to scroll here. 21-7 North Marion over Liberty.
Yeah, so based on that, the Huskies would maintain home field advantage in all likelihood for the playoffs next week, as we're going to have all 3 Marion County schools again represented in the postseason. I believe that'll be, what, the 3rd straight year that's happened. So,
yes.
Marion County well represented on the gridiron when it comes to the playoffs the last few years, with East Fairmont breaking into that new tier, I guess, around the state, joining Fairmont Senior and North Marion, who have been regulars in the playoffs for some time now under respective head coaches Nick Bardick and Darren Hayes. Just over 2 minutes to play now. Again, Fairmont Senior has dominated this one here tonight, leading 48-0 over East Fairmont.
And just to mention, too, the Mountaineers are on the road tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, for noon kickoff against the old Big East days of the Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati joining the Big 12 this year. Mountaineers play at noon tomorrow, so we have a little bit of football to watch tomorrow there. Brad, a little college football.
I'm probably not going to watch that if I'm being honest, but I might go to the Fairmont State game.
No, you're going over to the old craft show over here at the field house tomorrow, aren't you, Brad?
Craft show?
Yeah, you knew about the craft show. You got to get stuff ready for your wedding.
I did go to the craft show one year. It's nice. You got a lot of nice vendors there.
I'm going to Hobby Lobby tomorrow.
Hobby Lobby?
Yeah.
Wow, what are you looking for there, Brent? Some
I have
Christmas decor, or what's going on there?
When the wife says we're going to Hobby Lobby, and I just
tell
play
her,
nice and go. And
tell her it's Sunday.
No,
can't go. Hobby Lobby's closed. It's not Saturday. It's actually Sunday. Convince her that.
Yeah, but my wife well enough where I'd get manhandled, so I'll just play along with it. Go up to Hobby Lobby, and maybe I can get her to take me out to eat somewhere, and. Because I gotta eat at some point tomorrow, Brad. You know me.
Yeah, probably see it all over your Snapchat story tomorrow. All 3 meals, Brent. I want to see you.
Last time I posted all 3 of my meals was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Our great producer, Mr. John Bowman, called me out on it. I have that saved somewhere where he called me out and said, dude, what are you doing? But it's okay. But I do have to have my 3-course meals tomorrow. So I'll be doing that tomorrow.
You're supporting local business.
I am.
Yeah. So